Channel 29, in conjunction with the Southeastern Cablecasters Network, presents Hampton City Schools football. The Hampton Crabbers versus the Tabb Tigers. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. We welcome you live to Todd Stadium in Newport News for the game between the Hampton Crabbers, the Group AAA Division VI champions, and the Tabb Tigers, who narrowly missed being the AA champions last year in a game that they lost to York. And this game is supported by Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. Yes, you can. By the Van House, complete driving systems for the handicapped. By Peninsula Silk Printing. By Billy James Company. And by Thompson Ford, a place you can count on. There you see Mike Smith walking on the field. Mike Smith's Hampton Crabbers, the champions. Bob, what happened in last year's game between these two teams?
Well, Tim, it was a very exciting game. In fact, it was over at Bailey Field in York County, and the place was packed. If you weren't there by 6 o'clock, you didn't get in for that 7:30 start. But it was an excellent game. They had Terry Kirby, everybody's All-American high school ball player last year. Plus, they had a lot of tremendous backup. But Hampton lost that game narrowly, and then they went on to win the state championship AAA. And Mike Smith says that Charlie Hovis is an excellent coach, and he'll be coming in here well prepared, even though there's a little revenge factor here. Hampton will not lose this game if Mike has his way.
All right, we'll be back with A.G. Womble's field report after this brief message from Thompson Ford.
You know, my mom and papa took us touring all over the U.S. of A. in this fine Ford sedan. We saw the Atlantic Ocean and the Grand Canyon and watched Niagara Fall right through them windows right there. Yes, sir. Ford built some dependable automobile back then. Well, let me tell you, they still build them like that. And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there. My grandmama was one of the first women to register to vote in this county. One of the first to have an automobile driver license, too. And her old Ford still runs sweet as she ever did. And when she needs a little maintainment, I take her to the best Ford service department in the U.S. of A. That's Thompson Ford. They speak Ford out there.
Back at Todd Stadium, Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, A.G. Womble. The two teams are on the field. There you see the Hampton Crabber mascot. And the Crabbers, of course, their only loss last year was this 10-7 defeat at the hands of Terry Kirby's Tabb Tigers. Terry's gone, Chris Slade is gone, Jim McKechnie's gone. A lot of people are gone from Tabb, but Hampton is going to play this game just like they were here, I'm sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. I talked to Charlie Hovis earlier in the week, and he said his best ball players are his sophomores. So, you know, they're going to have to take a while for them to get the experience they need to play against a AAA team like Hampton. Mike Smith always does a good job, Tim.
Okay, we're going to get A.G. Womble's report from the field. And we're going to go to that right now after this message from Thompson Ford.
You know, when my grandpa bought this horseless carriage T-model Ford, everybody look at him like he's crazy, especially his carriage horse Napoleon. Because he figured, hey, got to be a lot cheaper than gasoline. Well, the rest is history. And to this day, nobody works harder than Lewis Parsons to be sure that every Thompson Ford customer stays a Thompson Ford customer. And that sounds like good horse sense to me. Back as I can remember, there's always been a Ford truck in our family. My grandpapa, he drove this very one to market every working day. There's nothing like the Ford truck, and you sure can't wear one out. And there's no easier place to buy one than Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're nice people out there. And they speak Ford, too.
A.G. Womble is down on the field, and momentarily we'll be going down to the field for his interviews with Charlie Hovis, the coach of Tabb, and Mike Smith, the coach of Hampton High School. And I believe we're about ready for that report. We're going to switch right now to A.G. Womble. I understand A.G.'s not quite ready. Bob, did you know that Charlie Hovis and Mike Smith grew up 40 miles apart?
No, I didn't know that, but
They're
I know
old buddies.
Well, they've been friends for a long, long time. Charlie Hovis coached at York High School many years before he went to Tabb, and he's had a tremendous tenure at Tabb. He has won some state championships and all kinds of district champions, and of course he's had some great athletes, but he's done a good job coaching.
Okay. I think we're ready now to go down to A.G. Womble and those interviews with the coaches.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, we got Coach Charlie Hovis, Tabb. Coach, last year's win over the Crabbers had to be one of the highlights of your career, and also the highlights of last year's season for you.
Well, we thought it was. The kids were ready to play last year. We had a season's ball club, and we felt like last year that if we stayed healthy, we could play with anyone in the state. And I think we proved that when we played with Hampton. Unfortunately, at the end of the season, we had a lot of our key players hurt, and we didn't make it through the playoffs. But, you know, that's why you have to go with what you have.
This year, of course, Kirby's UVA, but what are some of the strong points of this year's Tabb's team?
We're a very young team this year. We're rebuilding it to somewhat. Probably the strongest point in based on our two scrimmages of our defense have played fairly well. We probably have more experienced kids back on defense than offense. Offense, we're totally new too. We're going with we lost 2 quarterbacks and all of our running backs and our skilled people, so we're going pretty much with a totally new offensive
And then
team.
go to A.G.
All right, final question. What do you expect from the Crabbers tonight?
Offensively, I think at this stage of the game, they look to me like they're more potent at offense than they were last year at the same time. They're not, in their 2 scrimmages, we've watched them so far, they are more explosive, seem to be doing more things than they were last year at this time.
Coach, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Charlie Hovis.
All right, that was Charlie Hovis. Hovis has got a tough task ahead. He's got to rebuild this team.
He really does. When you lose as many good ball players as he did from last year, and of course he didn't have them just for 1 year, he had them for 3 and 4 years, it hurts because your backups don't get to play a whole lot. And so now they're going to have to do some experience. He's got some seniors that are some leaders on that team, but it's a basically young team. But Charlie Hovis will do a good job, and he'll represent your Tabb High School very well in tonight's ball game.
I had a chance to talk to Coach Hovis earlier in the season, earlier this week, I should say, and he was mentioning the fact that his leader is going to be Burrist, his big tackle, both offensive and defensive tackle and kicker.
Yeah, he is a big kid, very huge.
Bob, we're going to be doing something different this year, and why don't you explain to the fans a little bit about what we've got here?
Well, we're going to do a player of the game, Tim, and we've had some items donated by a couple of people on the peninsula, and one of them is this shirt. As you can see, it says WHCS Sports 29 Player of the Week, and the Hampton school system will present this to one of the ball players, and of course this is from Turner's Sports Place, which is located in Willow Oaks Shopping Center in Hampton and in Copeland Park, and my friend Dave Chubb is the one that has helped me with this, and they've got all kinds of silk screening and other equipment in sports and all. And another thing which I'm kind of proud about, and you can talk about this a little bit, Tim, but this is the plaque that we will give to the ball players, and you can see that picture of that good-looking guy on the plaque.
Well, let me tell you about the plaque. It's from DC Engraving, and they're proud to be a co-supporter of the Player of the Week award. Each week, the Player of the Week will receive a plaque with his name and picture through the magic of metal photo, a process through which wedding invitations, newspaper clippings, photographs, and other memorabilia can be reproduced in metal forever. DC Engraving is located in York Village Shopping Center in Grafton. Offers metal photo processing, rubber stamps, plastic and metal signs, name tags, award plaques, and trophies. For quality work and quick response, call Dave at 890-0794. Who's that good-looking guy on that plaque?
Oh, he's Player of the Week.
Okay, we have both teams on the field, as I mentioned, and momentarily we're going to be going down for the introduction of the lineups. Right now, let's go to A.G. Womble.
Mike Smith and Mike, state championship. Congratulations. Last year's behind us, but the only loss you had was to Tabb last year. Any the attitude of the boys coming in and playing Tabb tonight?
No, I don't think so. You know, that whole season's over, you know, and it was a great season and a great group of kids, and there's a few back, but most of them are gone, and this is a new group of kids, a new season, different Tabb team, but I don't know. This is a different type of group. They never say anything, so just have to wait and see how they react in the game.
I know Charlie Hovis is a friend of yours, but what do you expect from Charlie tonight? Any tricks?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think Charlie's a trick coach, you know. You don't really win by tricks. I think he's a very solid coach, both offensively and defensively, and he's done an excellent job, and he prepared very well. They were well prepared for us last year.
Aaron Matthews replacing your quarterback position this year. What about Aaron?
Well, he's not nearly as tall as Eric was. He's about 5'9" as compared to Hunter, 6'5", but and he certainly can't sit back in the pocket, you know, and he doesn't have the rifle arm that Eric had, but he has excellent quickness and speed, and he's a competitor. I think he'll show well for himself.
Mike, good luck to you and the boys tonight.
Thanks, A.J.
Mike Smith.
Thank you. All right, thank you, A.G., and thank you, Mike Smith, for that interview. We are, as I said, just a few minutes away from the kickoff of tonight's game. And to talk about success, Charlie Hovis, in his 10th year at Tabb, is 92-14-2 at Tabb High School, and if you include his coaching career at York High School in 18 seasons, he's 123 victories, just 51 losses and 4 ties. So Charlie Hovis has some statistics that are proud, things that he is very proud of. Of course, Mike Smith, starting his 18th year at Hampton High School, you don't get a whole lot better than this, 185, 29 and 2.
Yeah, that's why I said we got two excellent coaches here. But this staff that Charlie Hovis has got is really interesting. Willard Hunt played for Charlie when Charlie coached at York High School, but he's got David Walters and Chuck Engel and Joe Milanu, and all three of those guys are graduates from Tabb High School. So they have come back to help coach at Tabb High School. That's a nice staff that he's got over there, a young staff and very energetic, and Charlie does a super job getting good work from him. And here's the Hampton team, Tim.
All right, and let me run down, if I may, the starting lineup for the Hampton offensive team. At quarterback will be Matthews. The flanker will be Lee. Dwayne Murphy will be the fullback. Emmanuel Mines will be in the backfield as well. Brian Gerzak and Aaron Monday are the ends. The center is Cherry, Wilson, and Harmon are the guards, and the tackles are Kavanaugh and Riddick.
And of course, Hampton defense has always been real good. The two guards they have is Marcus Simmons and Curtis Wilson. The tackles, Rodney Riddick, Dwayne Thompson. Ends, Joe Becknell. We remember him last year from Kickingham High School, and Aaron Mundy. Linebacking will be Adrian Billups and Brian Gerzak. Halfbacks, Tarak Cassels and Manny Mines and Aaron Matthews at the safety. And I want to talk a little bit about Mines when I get a chance.
All right, and let's look at the Tabb lineups as you watch their team on the field. The quarterback, or let's go first with Kane, will be the wide receiver. Wayne Hoskins is the quarterback. Dennison is the wide receiver. Simeon Tucker is the tailback. The fullback is John Citizen. The guards are Rader and Griffin. Belanger is the center. The tackles are Renninger and Burrist, and the tight end is Jim Rorick.
And on defense for the Tabb, the Tigers go from a 4-4 lineup. The tackles are Damon Burrist and Frank Bjorn. The ends, Jim Rorick and Melvin Griffin. The linebackers, Chris Tolbert, Tony Hardison, and the cornerbacks, Heath Spencer and Earl Crawley. Defensive backs, John Citizen, Robert Hardy, and safety is Steve Dillard.
All right, Bob, and now let's watch and listen for the playing of our national anthem. right, we'll be back with the start of tonight's game. But first, this message from Peninsula Silkscreen.
1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
All right, you see the co-captains from both teams meeting at the center of the screen. At this time, we'd like to welcome from the south side, Portsmouth Channel 28, the Southeastern Cablecasters, Norfolk Channel 28, Chesapeake ACC 40, and of course, you in Newport News and Hampton have been with us since 7:15 during our pregame show. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. And we are here live from Todd Stadium. There you see Hampton in the black uniforms with the red and white numerals, red helmets, Tabb High School, of course, white with the bright orange.
Tim, well, we got a chance. We can see that the referee, Jack Winley, is talking to the captains out there. He's assisted by umpire Jim Williams, linesman Charlie Davidson, judge Mike Tucci, and back judge Doug Diggs. And he just showed right there that who's getting the ball. And you have something you need to come up with, Tim?
I need to mention that tonight's kickoff is brought to you by Billy James Company. Only Mannington Never Wax floors have a protection layer that's so tough, it's like your feet never touch the floor. It's up to 5 times thicker than most inlaid floors, so only Mannington has a 10-year free floor guarantee. You wear it out, we replace it free. The toughest protection layer, the toughest guarantee. Mannington. Billy James is a Hampton High School graduate and a supporter of Hampton City School.
Well, Billy James, I could go back a long, long way. I coached his youngest son when he played basketball for me at Sims Junior High School back in, I'm not going to even say what year it was. It seemed like yesterday. But we're pleased to have Billy James as one of our supporters.
What I mentioned earlier, and the listeners and viewers from the south side, the Hampton Crabbers only lost one time last year. That was in the opening game to this Tabb High School team. So if you have motivation to win this game, if you don't need motivation, and they don't, you've got it automatically with the revenge factor. Tabb, of course, they're going to be playing without the star Terry Kirby. Many of us had a chance to watch him in that dismal response that Virginia gave to Notre Dame. God bless Virginia for showing up. That was a tough opener for anybody. But Terry Kirby did carry the ball 11 times in that game and did in fact get 31 yards. So a bright future ahead for Terry Kirby. Charlie Hovis's Tabb team is going to have to find out what they're made of, and we're going to find out right now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Tim, you won't find Hampton High School doing a lot of emotion and jumping around. They just go out there and play ball. Tabb doesn't have anything to lose, on the other hand.
Burris kicks off. It's taken by Joe Becknell, and he's down immediately at the 20-yard line.
In fact, he lost a little yardage, Tim, trying to get to the outside.
They'll mark the ball at the 21-yard line. Just underway, those of you that may not be familiar with high school rules, they play 4 12-minute quarters in high school. We're coming to you live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. Crabbers will start from their 21. The quarterback will be Aaron Matthews,
who is much quicker of foot than Mr. Eric Hunter, and you will see him hang on to the ball a lot himself. Oh, that was just a straight dive ahead there. Looked like Mr. Murphy probably.
No, that was Cal Key, number 20, who is in the lineup tonight. There you see a good look at Aaron Matthews, the quarterback. He is coming in having not played much at all last year.
Well, Tim, he is also playing starting safety for the Crabbers, and I watched one of the scrimmage games against Green Run, and he put a hit on the Green Run runner that I could feel over on the sideline. So he's a very aggressive ball player.
Pickup of almost 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Crabbers. On the option play, Matthews keeps, and he is stopped after a short gain. He crossed the 25 out to about the 27-yard line. So the Crabbers will be looking at a third down.
Mike Smith calls all the plays, and you'll notice that Aaron Matthews will look over to the sideline, and Mike will signal the plays in or send a play in. So he's always waiting for the play to be called. That takes a lot of pressure off him. He doesn't have to try to call the plays himself.
Third down and 4 for the Crabbers. 10:30 left here in the first half, or first quarter rather.
And you notice the Tabb is in a 4-4 lineup, Tim, and they will run that basically all the time.
Matthews on the draw play to Key, and he will be stacked up for a loss. It'll be fourth down as the Tabb defense, who many feel was the key to that victory over the Crabbers last year, comes up big on the first series of downs.
And in the punt for the Hampton Crabbers is number 99, Mr. Bailey, James Bailey, and he not only punts, he also kicks off for the Crabbers.
There you see Mike Smith as the players coming over to the sideline. We're going to watch a replay of that last carry. Well, we may have to hold off on that as we're in punt formation. Now we have flags and whistles stopping the play, so maybe we'll have an opportunity then to see that play that didn't work for the Crabbers a moment ago.
We have a flag on the play.
We have a timeout actually being called by the Tabb Tigers. So a timeout has been called by Tabb before. Now the flag apparently was an inadvertent flag. And we will look still at a fourth down and about 6 for the Crabbers. So there was a timeout called with 9:47 remaining here in the first quarter.
Tim, basically what happened is they called timeout before the penalty was thrown. They may have had too many men on the field or something like that, and that would be mighty close to a first down, maybe about a half a yard short. But that was a timeout that you had to call. You wouldn't want to give Hampton too good a chance. But this Mr. Bailey goes back to punt, has got a real strong leg. I was watching him in warm-ups.
He averaged a little more than 28 yards a kick last year for the Crabbers. Play just about set to resume. Again, in deep punt formation. Bailey with no rush at all gets an end-over-end kick away. It's fielded at the 44-yard line and taken down immediately at the 46.
That was Hampton, number 32, Tim.
That was Simeon Tucker, number 23, I believe, that fielded the punt. And for the Tigers.
And it looked like number 32 for the Crabbers, James Shepard, was in on the stop.
Get a chance to watch this again. Simeon Tucker is going to field the ball for Tabb. He's going to take about 2 steps, and then he is going to be stopped right there at the 47. That's where they marked the ball. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. No score. The Hampton Crabbers and the Tabb Tigers.
And you'll see Hampton in a wide tackle 6. That's something that Mike Smith has a lot of confidence in, and they have proved themselves over the years to be a tremendous defensive team.
Simeon Tucker, number 23, carries the ball for the Tigers. Yes, AG.
Well, he picked up about 3 yards on that carry.
Tim.
Yes, AG.
Tim, the Hampton coaching staff was upset about that call and that the ball had already been snapped, and they felt that you could not stop the play after the ball had been snapped. They were concerned about that and upset about it.
All right, A.G. Womble down on the sidelines with that report.
And we're pretty lucky to have him down on the sideline. That sometimes we don't know up here what is going on down there. But the whistle sounded after the ball was snapped, and that's what the Hampton coaching staff is upset about.
Here's a replay of Simeon Tucker as he picks up a couple of tough yards, making it 3rd down and about 2.5 to go. Hampton the Tigers in Tabb territory, and now a delay of the game penalty, I do believe. We'll wait and see, however. Wait and see what they call, but the flag was thrown before the snap of the ball.
We'll have to wait and see the, yes, it's offside again. Well, actually, that's encroachment because it's not offside. They just can't get into the what they call the zone there where the ball is.
Neutral zone.
Whatever, neutral zone. That's the word I want. I'll get a chance here. Let me talk.
Coachman, offense.
We got Jack Winley coming on.
Coachman, offense.
Encroachment.
Third down.
Third down.
That was our referee giving us the call, encroachment against Tabb. So they may have tried to go with a long count in order to pull Hampton off and to get that first down. It didn't work, and now Tabb looks at a 3rd down and 8. Hoskins wants to look, and he is not going to get a chance to throw the ball as he is down at the 40-yard line.
Aaron Mundy did a good job of fighting off the block. If we got that on replay, you'll see did a good job fighting off the block and did containment and threw the quarterback for about a 7-8 yard loss. Aaron Mundy is a big, strong kid. We've watched him in basketball, but he is an excellent football player.
He was instrumental, of course, in Hampton's quest for the championship last year, and now we'll get a chance to watch, as you'll see.
Watch him fight off that block. In fact, he fought off 2 blockers, Tim.
So Wayne Hoskins was sacked back to the 40 of Tabb, and now Rourke will be in deep punt formation. It's a short kick taken at the 30 and out close to the 40 at about the 39-yard line.
And that was Aaron Matthews, the quarterback that ran that punt back. He was one of the short men. We did have a chance to talk about the Hampton coaching staff, and I would like to mention him. Head coach Mike Smith we mentioned a few times, but he's got some real able assistants in Danny Mitchell and Alvis Mann and Walter Brower and Lanny Franklin, Woodrow Wilson, Simon Gupton, and Kenny Gilliam. They do a tremendous job, and they all are excellent coaches.
7 minutes, the clock moving. There you see the replay of the run back by Aaron Matthews. As you mentioned, a 2-way player. There are 6 of them for the Crabbers this year. Matthews is the quarterback. Back to the line of scrimmage is Cal Key. Not much more. He may have gotten a half yard.
Well, the Tabb defense is doing a good job of stopping that pop up the middle at Hampton. Is pretty had success over the years at Hampton High School, but they have got it defensed excellently.
Cal Key last year only carried the ball 4 times for a total of 35 yards. And while I have this opportunity, I want to thank very much the sports writers at the Daily Press who were most gracious in affording me this information. A lot of this information from their books. Sonny Dirth, Mike Keach, and others were very cooperative and helpful, and my thanks go out to them. 2nd down and 9. Matthews wants to throw, and he throws it well over the head of the intended receiver. That would have been Brian Gerzak, who was out on the pattern, or
no, I believe that was Aaron Mundy.
In fact, Aaron Mundy.
You know, Aaron's a tall guy, but he would have had a stepladder to catch that one. And it looks like to me that Aaron Matthews may be just a little bit nervous. First game jitters and all, but he'll settle down before the game's over. But that was he just really hurried that pass a little bit.
Stops the clock with 6 minutes and 1 second remaining here in the first quarter. We have no score. Neither team has threatened at this point. If you just joined us, you're watching the Tabb Tigers and the Hampton Crabbers live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. What a great fake as Dwayne Murphy is going to go all the way for a touchdown.
What a tremendous fake. They were tackling all kinds of people in that backfield. Hampton is explosive as ever, and we saw Dwayne Murphy last year, Tim, do a good job of carrying the ball and running it, and boy, he popped that thing right through.
I was watching the play develop. I was watching Matthews because he did such a great job of faking. So were half the Tabb defenders.
Yes.
And in the meantime, almost like on a isolated play, Dwayne Murphy just had nothing but wide open space.
And he just outran the last defender. And James Bailey, number 99, is in to attempt the point after. Now we have another flag prior to the, I guess it was prior to the snap again. We'll see what happens. It's against Hampton. It's illegal procedure against the Crabbers, and that'll back them up 5 yards, so it'll make it a little tougher point after by James Bailey, number 99.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
You heard referee.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
And holding for James Bailey is number 2, Aaron Matthews.
You heard the referee give us that call, and Bailey's shot at the extra point this time is no good.
Watch this replay of the score, Tim, and the fantastic faking that. And see, our cameraman is even watching Matthews, but he hasn't got the ball.
Well, unfortunately, they faked us all out on that play. I was watching Matthews going to his right, and then in the meantime, we pick up the very tail end. Murphy almost got grabbed just as he got to the 5-yard line, but was able to get all the way in for a 60-yard touchdown. The extra point is no good. It took a minute 20 and just 3 plays to make it 6-0 in favor of the Hampton Crabbers. Bailey will have it teed up for the ensuing kickoff. Back deep for the Tigers, Simeon Tucker, number 23, and number 15 is back there as well. That's William Buchanan. And also on the near side is Steve Dillard, number 32. Kick is going to be taken at the 15-yard line. This is Buchanan out to the 30. So William Buchanan returns the ball for the Tigers. And now they'll start from their 30-yard line with 5:45 left here in the first quarter. The Hampton Crabbers have gone on top with a 60-yard run, a very deceiving play that virtually had everybody here watching Aaron Matthews.
And he was tackled, and more people were chasing him, and down the field went Dwayne Murphy.
Wayne Hoskins is the quarterback for the Tigers. That's Citizen. Fumble on the exchange, and Hoskins falls to the ground covering the ball. John Citizen was the intended recipient of a handoff, but the ball was mishandled between the center and Hoskins and never got an opportunity for the play to develop.
And what he did was the smartest thing that you can do as a quarterback when you mishandle that ball is you just fall on it. Don't try to pick it up, because if you do and get hit, then you've lost the ball. So he just went down and recovered the fumble.
Out of the eye, Citizen and Tucker. This is Tucker with the carry. He gets a couple of yards. Flag goes down. In on the stop for the Crabbers was number 55, Curtis Wilson.
And it's preliminary signal is holding against the Tabb Tigers. And usually when you see a flag go in the middle of the scrum, so to speak, like that, it's usually a holding.
Watch a replay here. So they're going to mark it off against Tabb. Let's listen to referee Jack Windley.
If holding on the offense, still second down. If holding, offense, second down.
We're very fortunate to have the referee Mike, because sometimes there's a call and we're not too sure what it is. And it's always nice to hear, and it gives the viewers an extra chance also to hear the official.
So it's second down and 20. Hoskins rolling and looking. He's got the screenplay set up. It's knocked away on a good defensive effort by the Crabbers to get a hand on the ball. That play was developing very nicely for the Tigers.
It really was. There was a lot of pressure on the quarterback, as that's what you want. And he had 3 or 4 blockers out there in front of the receiver, but it was well defended by the Crabbers, knocking the ball away.
4:32 remaining in the first quarter. Hampton on top, 6-0. You know, talk about cooperation. I want to thank the officials for allowing us to do that. We want to thank a lot of people, and we'll get to that in a moment, that have helped make this cable cast possible. Third down and 20. Hoskins on the delay to Tucker. Tucker finds it stacked up and now comes back the other way, looking for a block. He gets one, but it's a clip. And Tucker will be driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Look who drove him out of bounds. Number 2, Aaron Matthews, the quarterback. I told you that young man can hit.
It may be well against the Tigers. It looked like we're going to see an illegal block against the Tigers as Tucker reversed his field, was coming to the near side looking for some open space, and one of his teammates, in an effort to spring him, apparently clipped someone from the Crabbers. We'll wait and see, and we'll let referee Windley tell us for certain.
And they will go back half the distance, Tim, so that'll put the ball at the 10-yard line with a 3rd and 30. And you're talking a long way to go.
Got clipping on the offense. Still 3rd down. Clipping, offense, 3rd down.
All right, we'll watch the replay. There you see Tucker gets the handoff on the delay. Well, we lost our replay. Back to the live action. It's 3rd down and about 30 for the Tigers. 4:20 left here in the first quarter. In motion goes Tucker. That'll be illegal as he was moving forward rather than laterally, and the play will probably be taken by the Crabbers to force the 4th down situation.
Well, I don't know, Tim. You move them back 5 yards. You got them at the 5-yard line and running a 3rd down, and you might just take the penalty. I don't know. Let's see what Mike does. Yes, they are going to take the penalty. So they'll move the ball back to the 5-yard line, so it brings up 3rd and 35. Really puts some pressure on the
motion on the offense. Still down.
As you heard Jack Windley say.
Backfield, motion, offense, still 3rd down.
Now if they make a mistake, Hampton has got tremendous field position. So now it's 3rd and 35.
All right, so your call was correct. That is the 4th penalty for 30 yards total against the Tigers. So it's still 3rd down, but now they're at the 5, and Hoskins on the straight handoff out to the 6 or 7, and that's all.
Well, Tim, now your punter is going to be in the end zone, which really makes it tough.
Okay, with 3:50 remaining here in the first quarter, let's take a brief timeout and a word from Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. From the 4-yard line, the kick. Mines is back at the 50-yard line, and he'll be taken down at the 42-yard line of Tabb. So the Hampton Crabbers will have real good field position to start this possession, and they lead by the score of 6-0.
And this Manuel Mines, I just wanted to tell you, when I was coaching over to Bethel, his father was the premier running back for the Bethel Bruins, Manny Mines. So it's kind of neat to see his son coming and playing.
Of America. There's something to sing about at Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle. New 89 Hampton Chevrolet S10 pickups or Geo Spectrums, $149 down, $149 a month. Save hundreds now on clear out of all Chevrolet trucks, Blazers, S10 trucks, S10 Blazers, and vans. Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard. Ooh, the heartbeat of America. That's today.
Dwayne Murphy carried for the Hampton Crabbers, picked up almost 6 yards. It's 2nd down, and let's call it a long 4 for the Crabbers. Murphy has only carried the ball twice, but so far his stats look real good. He's got 64 yards.
He had one long run.
Those do help your average.
Yes, they do. Now we got whistles again. Seems to be premature movement on the line, and I don't know if it's first game jitters or whatever, but there are a lot of young ball players in both teams out there, and you're going to end up with a couple of miscues every now and then. Let's wait and see what Jack is calling. He's calling offside, it looks like, or encroachment against the Crabbers. Must have been movement prior to the snap of the ball.
Actually, I doubt if there's any real discussion here because it was a dead ball foul. Here we go.
Right. Dead ball, encroachment, offense, still 2nd down. Got a dead ball, encroachment on offense, 2nd down.
All right, that was the call. The Crabbers guilty of encroachment. 2:15 remaining here in the first quarter. The Crabbers have the lead, 6-0. Good crowd on hand tonight at Todd Stadium. When we get a chance here, we'll get an opportunity to run down some of the scores around the area in high school ball. Stacked up after a short gain to the 40 is Dwayne Murphy again.
Aaron Matthews, hands off once again is on 43, Dwayne Murphy.
And that's just a basic dive play off of a sprint option that Matthews does. He hands the ball off where he can keep it and either turn the corner or pitch to the his wide man or his trailing back.
Third down and about 9. Flag is down. Pass is incomplete at the 23-yard line.
And again, the pass was high. He seems to be letting go of the ball too quick, and the ball is floating over the heads of the receivers, but it looks like it might be a holding call against the Crabbers. He's talking to the, Jack is talking to the Tabb captain, so it's definitely against the Crabbers.
Tabb holding, offense, decline, 4th down.
Jack Windley.
At holding, offense, decline, 4th down.
All right, here we go. We get a chance to watch it again.
And there you can see the ball just is coming out of his hands and is well over the head of the receiver. And now we got a 4th down, and we don't know if the Crabbers, looks like the Crabbers may be going for it. They're the field position, they're located at the 40 of Tabb. I don't know if I'd want to give the ball to Tabb in too good a field position, but I don't like to second guess Mike Smith. He does a good job.
Well, it is 4th and 9, and they are going for it. Matthews, little or no time at all, is going to have to eat the football. He'll be thrown for a loss, and the Crabbers will give it up. So Aaron Matthews trying to make something happen. Wasn't given enough time. The Tabb rush was there, and he couldn't find an open receiver. And with 1:16 to go here in the first quarter and leading by 6, the Crabbers will give the ball over on downs.
And there was no place to go. The defense had the coverage pretty well, and the pocket collapsed on him, and he just had nowhere to go and had to eat the ball. He got back to about the line of scrimmage. But Tabb's got good field position at their own 40. That's not a bad place to start. And our lines and our numbers are real weak on there. There was a ball game here earlier today.
Then create it at the Van House. Let our design specialists put your ideas in motion with a van, pickup, or handicapped conversion exactly as you want it. Personalized service, handmade quality, and value that you've dreamed about. The Van House, a universe of possibilities with down-to-earth prices.
The most about it is that it's so plush inside. It looks very expensive. It's very convenient for me. Everything is just where I want it.
That van is my freedom. I can go do anything I want to do.
I'm Skip Wilkins. Mobility allows me to compete with life. Look to the Van House for customized mobility products that fit.
2nd down and 5 for the Tigers. They picked up 5 while we were away. Wayne Hoskins, the quarterback, calling the signals. 16 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. This is Simeon Tucker, and he picks a couple of yards. He'll be short by about 3 yards of the first down. So it'll be 3rd down and 3, and that will be the last play here at Todd Stadium here in the first quarter. So that is the end of the first quarter. They'll be switching ends of the field. And right now we're going to watch and listen to this message from Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle.
To sing about at Hampton Chevrolet GOG Beagle. New 89 Hampton Chevrolet S10 pickups or Geo Spectrums, $149 down, $149 a month. Save hundreds now on clear out of all Chevrolet trucks, Blazers, S10 trucks, S10 Blazers, and vans. Hampton Chevrolet GOG Beagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard. Ooh, the heartbeat of America.
12 minutes down. Hampton is up by 6. This is Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. We're coming to you live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. And again, we want to thank all the members of the Southeastern Cablecasters Association for their cooperation. Portsmouth Channel 28 with Claude Parent. Norfolk Channel 28 with Danny Simons. Chesapeake ACC 40 with Raymond Jones, and of course Paul Cummings in Newport News with Channel 36. These gentlemen have made it very, very easy for us to do this, and we thank them for all of their help and cooperation. This is the first time effort for us. Of course, you and I have been doing this for several years here in the city of Hampton.
And yes, Tim, but at Newport News, we've done a lot of games up here, but it's the first time we've ever gone live, so I'm glad to see that you trimmed down and look so good.
As the second quarter starts, Tabb finds themselves at their 48-yard line. Hoskins wants to pass, throws it over, almost a beautiful catch, but he wasn't able to hold on to the football. That was number 89, Jim Rourke, a returner, a two-way player for the Tabb Tigers.
And he was open, Tim. That was a good ball thrown right into the seam. As you can see here on the replay, Slow-Mo Joe has got this on the replay. Nice fake. He's right in the seam, right behind the linebackers, and just could not quite hang on the ball, which brings up a 4th down.
Almost made a super play. And Rourke now will once again be called to duty as he'll be in deep punt formation. No rush by the Crabbers. They put little or nothing in a way of pressure on the punter. And Rourke gets a good roll. It's picked up at the 15-yard line, and returning it for about 2 yards for the Hampton Crabbers is number 11. That's Emmanuel Mines. So the Crabbers will get the ball with 11:46 remaining in the first half. If you joined us late, you missed a spectacular fake play that sprung Dwayne Murphy for the Crabbers. He went from his 40-yard line 60 yards for the touchdown.
And they faked out everybody. Cameramen, half of the stands, probably more than half of the stands. I'm not sure that many of the stands knew, people in the stands knew what was happening, because you didn't hear a roar until you picked him up at about the 5-yard line, 10 or 5-yard line.
Now, we've had a penalty on that last play, and they're going to bring this back and do it again, or perhaps if it's enough of a penalty and if it's against Hampton, it'll give the Tabb Tigers a first down, and that looks like what's going to happen.
It's a big penalty, and it's hard to believe that there's a penalty because nobody rushed, nobody did anything. So listen to Jack.
Got an illegal blow to the head, defense. Illegal blow to the head, defense.
Illegal blow to the head, Tim, and they really watch that. You can't, as a defensive man, just haul off and hit the other player in head, even though he's got a helmet. You can't do that, and that's a big break for the Tabb Tigers.
So the Tigers get new life. They were going to be looking at the Crabbers with the ball, but instead they have a first down in Hampton territory at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Wayne Hoskins is the quarterback. He played JV last year for the Tigers. Did not start a single game for the big boys. 30.
Excuse me, I don't mean to step on you, but they had 2 quarterbacks last year, both seniors, and both were starters.
That was number 32, Steve Dillard, that carried the ball. Those 2 starters, Gadd and Skinner, alternated. And those of you that may have seen the Hampton Tabb game last year, Charlie Hovis, the head coach for Tabb, was not afraid to play either one of them, as he had great confidence in those 2 players. And unfortunately, he did not have anyone with any experience coming into this year. Both of his quarterbacks this year are JV starters from last year. Little or no gain on that last play. Fumble on the exchange, and we'll have to wait and see who's got it. The Hampton players say they have it, but as of yet, well, now we do get an official signal. So the Crabbers get the ball on the fumble.
Well, that's a break after that penalty gave the Tigers that first down in great field position and possibly a chance to get it in and for a score. They turn the ball over on a fumble, which gives the Hampton the ball, and we'll see on the replay a slow motion Joe here shows us the hand. He just never did get the ball into the halfback's stomach, and the Hampton Crabber came up with it.
What happened is he put the ball on the hip, or ran into Rodney Vinson, number 31, and the ball bounced off of his hip, so he never even had an opportunity at all to give it to the intended runner. And the turnover, the second fumble, only the first they've lost, but they have fumbled it twice, and that turnover gives the ball to the Crabbers. And wrestled to the ground by the jersey is Cal Key of the Crabbers.
And that's big number 72 for the
That's Damon Burst.
Well, he is one big guy, 6'5", 285. He got a hold of that grabber and just threw him down like he was ragdoll.
Well, I posed the question to Charlie Hovis earlier in the week as to who was his best athlete, and he said this Burst man was the guy he would go with.
Watch it, Tim. He just grabs him right there, and he's not going anywhere.
In the prone position, Burst got a hold of that jersey and was not going to let go. So,
well, had he not done it, he'd have picked up at least 5 yards.
As it was, no gain, 2nd down and 10. Matthews fakes, throws. He's got Gerzak open at the 45, down close to the 35-yard line. 37-yard line will be the marking spot.
Well, what happened on that play, Tim, was it's just a fake inside, and if the 4-4 lineup, if that linebacker takes a step up, that opens that end up, and there's nobody can pick him up until you get to the secondary, which is about 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. And you can see here on the replays the fake and a nice pass to Gerzak, and there was nobody within 10 yards of him.
What do you think we should do? Just play less replays?
And here's a quick pass out to number 11, Emmanuel Mines. It looks like Mr. Matthews has got his arm because he is swinging that ball right in the numbers now.
Well, Matthews played sparingly last year for the Crabbers behind All-Stater Eric Hunter. And Matthews didn't really get an opportunity to throw that much. Threw only 5 times, completing 4 of them for a total of just 30 yards. Second down and about 4.
And that's Mr. Murphy.
Dwayne Murphy will be close to a first down. We'll have to see exactly where they mark the football. The clock stops with 8:38 remaining here in the first half. Hampton on top by the score of 6-0.
Okay, Eagle Eye, your first chance of the new season. Did he make it or not?
He did not.
He did not. Okay, you've been real accurate in the past. So we'll see. It's close enough for a measurement.
Let's see. I believe he's about the length of the football short of the first down, but I wasn't even close. He's well.
Well, he's
short.
a football and a half length. You missed it by 6 inches of being right on the nose.
You get a chance to watch the play again. There you see the very tail end of it as Dwayne Murphy looked like his forward progress was going to give him a little further downfield, but they really brought that ball back.
Well, his knee went down prematurely, and you got to spot it where the knee goes down.
That was a good call.
Yes.
So they mark it just short of the first down, and they won't get it on that play. Dwayne Murphy wrapped up very nicely, thank you, by number 55. That's Melvin Griffin of the Tigers. So little or no gain on the play will bring up a 4th down situation for the Crabbers. Now, Mike Smith went for the first down earlier in the first half when they were at the Tabb 40.
And he wasn't as close as he is now. He had about a 4th and 5, and this is 4th and about 5 inches. And you see on the replay that the Tabb Tigers just plugged up that center and met the ball carrier before he got to the line of scrimmage.
4th down and 1. Matthews hit and fumbles. It won't matter really because whoever got the ball, it doesn't matter. Tabb will take over on downs.
Well, Tabb has come up with some real big plays on defense tonight. And I know that makes the coaching staff over there very, very happy.
So the Tigers caused the fumble. Hampton may in fact have recovered the fumble, but in doing so lost yardage. And as it was 4th down, the Tigers take over on downs. So they'll have it at their 32-yard line. 7:34 remaining here in the first half. Hampton 6, Tabb nothing. The season opener for both of these teams. Hampton's been the state champion 3 of the last 4 years. Last year's only defeat at the hands of these Tigers. And off to Steve Dillard as he tries the right side of his line. Picks up a couple.
Well, the left side tackling in for the Crabbers really stopped that play. He never really got a chance to get going. and he actually gained about a yard, but that was it.
You know, one of the most amazing things is that year after year, Mike Smith and his coaching staff bring out these teams and continue to look just like the year before with all new players. And this defense is virtually all new for the Crabbers. Screen pass set up, it doesn't work again. Last time the Crabbers saw that play, they batted the ball down. This time the pass wasn't really close.
Well, Tim, what you just said about the way the Crabbers look defensively and how well that they perform each year in and year out from this wide tackle 6, Mike Smith has got his philosophy that you go with the defense and stick with it, but he also has some excellent coaches that they know what Mike wants and how to get it out of the kids, and they do a good job. And there's a good shot of Mike Smith right there.
Little bit of trivia. Do you know that Mike Smith always wears a different colored hat from any of his coaches?
Oh yes, that's the way you can see him.
That's the way his players can find him without having to look. Hoskins lines them up, 3rd down and 9 for the Tigers, trying to take advantage of their defense. Hoskins fakes, steps up, and now is going to be taken down for a loss. And he is going to be sacked. It'll be 4th down for the Tigers. Right now we're going to take a brief pause and a message from Peninsula. So, no, we're not. Okay. 6:23 remaining here in the first half.
Well, maybe we can get to that supporter after this kick.
I'm sure we probably can. We'll get back to that in just a second. It's 4th down. 4th down and 10 as they lost a yard on the play. Fumble the snap, no pressure, but now they realize that the punter's in trouble, and the Crabbers swarm all over him, and they're going to get the football.
About back where they started from.
That's Jim Rourke, who fumbled the snap again. The Crabbers were not putting any pressure, and they've got the Rourke, and they put him to the ground, and they've got the ball. Now we're going to take a brief pause for a message from our supporter, Peninsula Screen Printing.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or a special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
5:24 remaining here in the first half. 2nd down and 10 for the Crabbers at the Tabb 30-yard line. You know, normally the field here is marked quite clearly. We've got a little fading of the colors here, but they've played a lot of games on this field this weekend. Started Thursday night, and this field has been used extensively. As Matthews.
Earlier today, 2 o'clock, I believe, that Warwick played Phoebus High School.
Right, and
you have the score of that game?
37-7 as the Warwick Raiders trounce the Phoebus Phantoms. We'll get to some other scores here as time allows. We've got the ball marked at the 25-yard line. Thursday night, the Bethel Bruins defeated Norview 35-13 in a game played here. And I'll get to some of those other scores as time allows. So 4:45 remains here in the first half. Hampton holding on to a 6-point lead. They have the only score. The extra point by Bailey was no good after a penalty backed them up 5 yards, and he missed the extra point. From the 25, Matthews does not get an opportunity to pitch the ball to the trailer, who was Becknell, the transfer from Kecoughtan High School. Matthews wrapped up well by that defense. Earlier in the week when I talked to Coach Hovis, he said his defense was well ahead of the offense, but then that's something you really expect to have happen this time of the season.
It really is, Tim. We'll see a replay on this and see how well that his defense. And he just doesn't have a chance to cut up or to pitch the ball.
Those of you at Channel 29, we will have a game for you next week. That game will be the Kecoughtan Warriors and the Ferguson Mariners. Game will be played at Hampton University Thursday night. I want to make that special time aware to the Hampton fans.
That's because of the Bay Days will be going on that weekend. But we have played at Armstrong Field at Hampton University.
Preliminary signal delay of game against the Hampton.
All right, we've got a penalty, a delay of the game against the Hampton Crabbers. Well, I have a moment here. I want to mention the fact that Billy James Company is the only Mannington never waxed floors
offense.
have a protection layer that's so tough.
Red game, offense. And hold it, we're going to have a timeout. A timeout. White.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, referee. That was not planned, I want you to know. Referee.
Only Mannington Never Wax floors have a protection layer that's so tough, it's like your feet never touch the floor. It's up to 5 times thicker than most inlaid floors, so only Mannington has a 10-year free floor guarantee. You wear it out, we'll replace it free. The toughest protection layer, the toughest guarantee. Mannington.
Sale. Buy now and save, and you'll be walking on air. Billy James is a Hampton High graduate and a supporter of Hampton City Schools. I want to make a mention to some of our network feed is not picking up our instant replays. We're having some technical difficulties. We hope to have those resolved, but at the time, if we refer to the instant replays, some of the viewers are seeing them and some of the viewers aren't. So we'll still do them, but for those of you that can't see the instant replays, we apologize for that technical problem. We are working on it, and we'll get it cleared up hopefully as soon as we can.
And we're just not saying that we have it just to be saying it. We do have it.
That's right. We promise you we do have it. 3:42 remains here in the first half. Crabbers looking at a 4th and 10. They are going for it. Again, a 4th down. Now, they've already given the ball up twice to the Tigers. 4th and 10 over the middle. Matthews' pass was behind Aaron Monday, the intended receiver. And unless there's a flag on the field, that will again be a change of possession. The Tabb Tiger defense has come up big once again.
And Hampton has gone 3 times with a 4th and trying to pick up the first down, and that's the longest. It was a 4th and 10, but the play was an excellent play. It was well executed, except on the pass was a little bit behind Aaron Monday and could not get to it, but had it been completed, they would have had the first down.
At halftime, we're going to have some band action for you. We'll have the bands, and we'll also have an interview. A.G. Womble will have the mayor of Hampton as well at halftime, so we hope you'll stay tuned for that. Hoskins fakes, looks, gets pressure, and is he ever wrapped up for a big loss?
Wow, he was collared. I don't know who was the defender, but boy, he went down quick and hard.
Aaron Monday.
Yeah, little Aaron, huh?
Little Aaron, yeah.
Aaron is 6'7"?
6'7", about 227.
Yes.
And he almost took Hoskins' head off.
Well, Hoskins knew there was a big guy had a hold of him. There's no doubt about that.
So it's 2nd down and about 19 to go for the first down, as the defenses for both teams have been outstanding here in the first half. Other than that 60-yard scamper by Dwayne Murphy, this game is relatively even. If you joined us late, that touchdown came with 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Swing pass, they finally set that screen up, and it looks good for Citizen. John Citizen gets out close to the 35-yard line. That'll be well short of a first down.
But that was well executed that time.
Well, they've almost done it. They've had it set up pretty well both of the other times, but each time either a hand got in the way or, as it happened before, the ball was just missed.
Well, that wasn't really a screen as much as it was a rollout pass. He faked the ball. He faked it, and then he hit the man, and then he picked up a couple of blockers out in front, but Hampton was going for the sack.
That was Simeon Tucker. I should correct myself. That was Tucker, number 23, on the receiving end of that pass. Hoskins in the flat throws it. It is a incomplete pass, but there is a flag down.
And that will be against the Hampton Crabbers. I'm sure that'll be pass interference, which will be a 15-yard mark off from the line of scrimmage, which will give the first down to the Tabb Tigers.
That was Jason Dennison, who was the intended receiver.
Maybe we get this on replay. I don't know if he's got it or not. You can see Jack Winley is talking to Burris, the co-captain for the Tigers. I see here one of our spectators is Don Cherry, who did the All-Star football game. As here you can see the release as the ball get up there.
Pass interference.
And that was pretty close call. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to call that, even seeing it on the replay.
It may have happened before the player got in our picture.
First down.
Nonetheless, the official right on top of the play called it.
Back.
We got a timeout now on the field.
All right, we have a timeout with 1:57 remaining. The Hampton Crabbers 6, Tabb nothing. Will return. Mike Smith, before we get to that message from our supporter, Mike Smith out on the field having a word or two.
The ball was in the guy's hands, Mike.
We can pick this up, as a matter of fact.
Just before he turned out. That's all I touching the ball. All I can tell you is what he said. He's letting him call.
Well, Mike isn't too happy.
We may be wise to cut that particular conversation off. Mike is complaining that the ball was in his hands before contact was made, or at least the receiver had the ball on his fingers before contact was made, which is the judgment call anytime you look at that play.
Well, Tim, and you also notice that it was done over, the play was called over in front of the Tabb bench. So, yeah, I don't know. You, as a coach, sometimes feel that the official will call it in favor of the bench that he's closest to.
All right, and with a timeout on the field, we're going to go to this message from our supporter, Thompson Ford.
Truce with Lewis and Justin.
You car buyers, come on out to Fast Eddie's cheap, newly used automobiles, where all of our cars are loaded with your standard optional features. We got you multi-directional windshield wipers, push-button radio, circular tires, trunk-mounted spare, and dashboard heater vent. And this week you can get a cash rebate. You bring the cash, we'll rebate the hook after the switch. Fast Eddie.
And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there. What took us touring all over the U.S. of A in this fine Ford sedan. We saw the Atlantic Ocean and the Grand Canyon and watched Niagara fall right through them windows right there. Yes, sir. Ford built some dependable automobile back then. Well, let me tell you, they still build them like that. And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there.
Back to the live action, 2nd down and 5 on a pickup of 5 yards. The Tigers now in Hampton territory, crossing the 45-yard line for a gain of maybe 1.
And that looked like Adrian Billups, number 10, was the defender on that side.
And Simeon Tucker was the ball carrier for the Tigers. Of Tucker, Coach Hovis said he can break one. He feels like that Tucker has the ability, and he really likes this young man. He thinks Tucker is a very good running back, and he somewhat, hedging his bet, somewhat compared him to Terry Kirby in his abilities. He's just not as big as Kirby, obviously. To the 40-yard line, very close to a first down. That will be determined by the fact where they place the football.
Well, if he marks it where he's standing, he's going to be a couple inches short.
Clock stops with 1:08 remaining here in the first half. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble coming to you live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. The Hampton Crabbers scored with 5:50 remaining in the first quarter on a 60-yard scamper up the middle by Dwayne Murphy on a misdirection play. The extra point was no good, and the defending state champion Hampton Crabbers are holding on to a 6-0 lead. 4th down and inches. Hoskins looks it over, has a long count, now sets his team. And he's got the first down and plenty more.
A lot of times you'll see that happen on a short yardage, and if he breaks it, there's nobody back there to stop him, and he just high jumped right over or hurdled right over the line and went right on in. Nobody touched him.
That was Simeon Tucker. I just got the words out of my mouth. Hovis said he can break one, and you watched it, folks. 40 yards. We're going to watch it again on the replay.
And you can see that once he gets past the line of scrimmage and he hurdles right over the top, that nobody touches him. And here he takes it, and he jumps right over, boom, and there's nobody there. Everybody was in tight, and then he just outran everybody.
Aaron Matthews was the last Crabber with an opportunity to stop him, and he couldn't do it. So now the Tigers, who have really not threatened at all during the first half, find themselves in a position to take the lead going in at halftime.
And we got a timeout here, as it looks like the Tabb Tigers may go for two. Which I don't know why they would. I'd go ahead and kick and take the lead, but yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have interviews, the band, and of course halftime statistics for you. 41 seconds away, and the Tabb Tigers, decided underdogs coming into this game, are looking at an opportunity to take the lead. Damon Burrist, the offensive and defensive tackle. The snap is high, and the play is going to go for no extra point. The Crabbers will take a deep breath as they saw their chances of leading at halftime, or actually trailing at halftime, being realistic.
Yeah, we're going to see the score again on Simeon Tucker. You notice how he just went right over the top of the lineman who went low, which they had to do to plug it up. But as you can see, Mr. Matthews was the only one that had a chance, and he got over there too late. Simeon Tucker took it in for the score. On the extra point, it looked like to me that it was a high snap, and it may have been that they were going to go for two out of that anyway, Tim. I'm not sure, but we'll never know. But it's 6-6. New ball game.
So neither team has been able to convert on the extra point, and we're deadlocked at 6. 41 seconds away from halftime. Game's been very relatively evenly played, in my opinion, Bob. What do you think so far?
Well, I think it really has. I think Hampton has played better, although it doesn't show that on the scoreboard. I think they've controlled the ball more. They've gone for first down with a fourth three times and didn't make it. Tabb did it one time and scored. So.
Also at halftime, I will have some scores from Thursday and Friday, as well as Saturday from high school around the area, in case you missed that score of your favorite high school team. Ball goes out of bounds, and they'll kick it over.
Well, Tim, one thing that you'll find out, though, that neither one of these teams is showing any consistency right now. Neither one of them have taken the ball and moved it down the field offensively, but as you and I know, that it's usually the defense is well ahead of the offense in the first part of the season, and I'm sure that's what the coaches are both looking for, is a little bit of consistency here.
Well, that's how Tabb beat Hampton last year, was ball control. If you recall, going way back almost 12 months to the day, the Tigers took the opening kickoff and held the ball for almost 8.5 minutes, capping it with a 25-yard field goal by Jim McKechnie to take the lead that they never surrendered. And they basically controlled the ball throughout the game against the Crabbers, with Terry Kirby running 40 times for 187 yards in that game.
Well, he was a definite player in that ball game. As you can see the scoreboard, 6-6, 41 seconds to go in the second quarter. And the Crabbers will try to get this ball at least in field goal range for James Bailey once they get it. So we'll see what happens on the penalty. Used to be when the ball went out of bounds, the other team got it at the 40, and that was been changed.
Burris' kick is fielded by Cal Key at the 12-yard line. Key out across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. So the Crabbers, with 35 seconds remaining here in the first half, will have the ball 1st and 10, and they'll mark it at the 37.
We'll see. We'll see Matthews put the ball up, but here you can see the kick, and it was a nice kick. Really got it deep even with the penalty, and Cal Key did a good job running the ball and almost squirted through as he got tackled. And here we can see a draw play as we're back to live action.
Out to the 41-yard line, Dwayne Murphy gets the call. Check that. Now they say Cal Key carried the ball, although I do believe it was Murphy, in fact. And now the Crabbers are going to call a timeout.
So they got 9 seconds.
9 seconds remaining. While I have this opportunity, I thought I'd run down some of the scores we were talking about earlier. Thursday night, Bethel defeated Norview 35-13, and that was an upset of sorts, as Norview was highly regarded and Bethel was kind of an unknown quantity, but they certainly came in. They capitalized on Norview turnovers to win that game.
Yes, they did.
I understand now, those of you who have had difficulty receiving our instant replay, I understand now that we have it working again for those people who had not been seeing it. Unfortunately, throughout this network here, some of the stations have been getting it and some not.
Right. Who else played?
Green Run defeated a new school on the south side, Salem, in the Beach District by the score of 35-6. Then Friday night, Denby defeated Ferguson 9-0. And Menchville defeated Kickintan 7-0 as first-year coach Jacoby at Menchville was given a victory by the team that he thought he would be lucky to see any wins this year, let alone upset a team like
Kickintan. Started off where they started off last year. They turned the ball over too many times.
Turned it over 7 times, lost the ball 4 times on interceptions. Right up the middle. That's Murphy again down to the 30-yard line, and a late flag with 2 seconds remaining.
And that may get him in position to kick a field goal if that's a flag. And that's that same play that Murphy scored on earlier.
I'll wrap up the scores for you around the area as time permits here. Incidentally, again, we apologize for any technical difficulties you may have had with the instant replay. This is the first time we've gone live like this, and it's certainly the first time we've gone regionally. So we apologize for any inconveniences or any problems we've had, but we're working to get them cleared up. And if you'll stay with us, we hope you'll enjoy the rest of the ball game.
And if you like what we're doing, let the stations know. We appreciate your comments.
Personal foul, grabbing a face mask, defense. Personal foul, grabbing a face mask, defense.
Well, Tim, that'll put them 15 yards closer. So that I'm trying to see the yard markers, and it's hard to see the yard markers. But that'll put the ball down inside the 20, close to the 15, about 17-yard line. So we got a 27 plus 7. So that looks like it might be about a 34-yard field goal attempt for James Bailey if that's the way Mike Smith goes. And I don't know if he will or not. He's got 2 seconds, and he's got 1 call, and 1 call only, and there is a timeout on the field.
Okay, with a timeout and 2 seconds remaining in the half, our score 6-6. We'll return after this message from the Van House.
The thing I like the most about it is that it's so plush inside. It looks very expensive. It's very convenient for me. Everything is just where I want it.
That van is my freedom. I can go do anything I want to do.
I'm Skip Wilkins. Mobility allows me to compete with life. Look to the Van House for customized mobility products that fit.
Then
back to the live action, a field goal attempt. It is short and to the right. So on the final play of the first half, James Bailey's attempt at the field goal that would have given Hampton the lead falls short and to the right. So after 24 minutes, the score at halftime, the Hampton Crabbers 6, the Tabb Tigers 6. Will return after this message from the Van House.
For handicap conversion exactly as you want it. Personalized service, handmade quality, and value that you've dreamed about. The Van House, a universe of possibilities with down-to-earth prices.
High school marching band, and I don't know if AG's ready down there or not, but you know, he's got Mayor Eason, mayor of Hampton.
All right, Tim, Bob, we got Mayor James Eason here, former Crabber himself. Jim, what about that first half?
Well, it was very good. I thought it was well played, considering this was the first game.
What about that touchdown play for the Crabbers? Describe that.
Well, you know, I asked you to describe it. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think that must have been one of those plays. I think Nebraska used to run something like that, where the center either puts it up and he never centers it through his legs and just holds it and lets somebody run by and pick it up there. But it was I'd like to see the replay on that.
Right, it had everybody fooled. About 4 guys were tackling the quarterback.
Yeah, well, he was almost to the 10-yard line before I saw him, so it was good.
Mayor, what about the tradition at Hampton? They won the state championship last year, but that's about the 12th or 13th time, and you participated in some of those teams.
Oh, yes. The tradition at Hampton is absolutely great. You know, it's part of the city. As you recall, 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago, I guess, in the football season, Hampton won its 500th football victory. And, you know, we did the research at that time, and I think it's probably less than 20 schools in the United States that achieved that. And so, of course, we had that big banquet, and over 1,300 people came, which I think spoke very, very good for the community. And it just illustrates that football has always been such an integral part of the spirit and the pride of the city of Hampton. And I think the tradition that Hampton High School has built up has just been fantastic.
Of course, your late father coached a couple of state championship teams, and Mike now has 7, and it just seems like that tradition is going to last for a long time.
Oh, I don't think you can say enough about Mike Smith. I mean, when you really look at the record that he has had over, I think, 17 years, I mean, it's just really incredible. And I think the one quality that is most admirable in anybody, whether it's a football coach or a school board finance director or anyone, is consistency. I mean, if all of us can maintain a certain amount of consistency, I think that's what we should all strive for in life. And the fact, and looking at Mike and what he's done and the consistency from year in, year out, I mean, considering the fact that he really can't recruit like really colleges, and you can't draft like pros, and you really look at the Hampton High School zone of probably the area of the whole city of Hampton, the growth in the Hampton zone has probably been the lowest. And when you consider all of those factors and look at what they have done year in and year out, I think it's just, I just hope we never take Mike and his assistants for granted, because they've just done a phenomenal job.
September 29th is a big night in Hampton. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. That's the night that we've set to open the new Darling Stadium. And in fact, I was out there this afternoon and walked the field and toured around, and it's no question it will be ready. The field is in much better shape than I'd anticipated. It's already very firm. The goalposts were installed this week. The lights were installed this week. And I think for those people who haven't had a chance to go by there and see it while it's been under construction, going to be very, very pleased. It's we've already been receiving a tremendous amount of comments. There have been schools from other cities in Virginia and even in Maryland who have been down here to look at it. And I think the people are in for a real treat. But it is a special tribute to really the Hampton football and what it's meant to the spirit of the city through all these years.
Well, Mayor, there's a lot of support of the school board and the city council for the Hampton School Division and also the athletic programs. Athletics and academics play an integral part with each other.
Well, absolutely, and we're very proud. While we've talked tonight specifically about the athletics and the football, we're very proud of the educational accomplishments of the Hampton school system. I think certainly in the last 5 to 6 years, the Hampton school system has distinguished itself, has certainly been a top quality, and our city council has recognized that, and of course as recognized by the amount of funding. And I was just looking at some of the numbers the other day, and for the first time in a long, long time, the school budget is more than 50% of the total city budget. And I think that illustrates and is indicative of the strong commitment that our city government and city council has for education in Hampton.
Mayor, we appreciate you taking some time with us and appreciate that support of you and the city council.
Thank you, AG.
Right. Mayor James Eason.
All right, AG, thank you very much. As you are watching the Hampton High School band.
All right, now we're going to listen to the Hampton High School marching band.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sandknit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
We got some of the Bethel Bruins the other night, had a big win at Norview, and let's get some of the names here.
Damon Wallace, center.
Zachary Roberts, guard. Brian Gwartney, quarterback. Roland Harper, tackle.
Lamont Marshall, fullback. All right, Damien, what was the spirit going into that game for the Bruins?
We were hyped for that game. It was our first game, and we really wanted to start off with our confidence boosted, and that win was perfect for us.
What about that wishbone? That fooled a few people.
Yeah, it did. We wanted to come out, surprise them, surprise the defense, so they know what to expect, and it really surprised them.
What about Norview? Were they show you anything you didn't anticipate?
They were a good team, and we really enjoyed playing against them. They're a real good team.
Oh, you played them last year?
Yes, sir. Yes, we did.
All right, who's this young man again now?
Roland Harper.
All right, a good way to get the season started off. What about the rest of the year for the Bruins? How do you see it?
They've been very fortunate, I think it'll be a good season, score a lot of points,
What's the strong points of this year's team?
Strong points is try to make it to the defense mainly. Yeah, and work a little bit more on offense.
Offensively, y'all gonna be able to put 35 points on the board each game?
I don't know, it's hopefully.
All right, good luck to you guys. Great game against Norview. Bethel Bruins. All right. Yeah. All right. Back to the band.
First women to register to vote in this county. One of the first to have an automobile driver license, too. And her old Ford still runs sweet as she ever did. And when you need a little maintainment, I take her to the best Ford service department in the U.S. of A. That's Thompson Ford. They speak Ford out there. My grandpapa bought this horseless carriage T-model Ford. Everybody look at him like he's crazy, especially his carriage horse Napoleon. Because he figured, hey, got to be a lot cheaper than gasoline. Well, the rest is history. And to this day, nobody works harder than Lewis Parsons to be sure that every Thompson Ford customer stays a Thompson Ford customer. And that sounds like good horse sense to me.
Get y'all on in. Come on in a little tighter. We'll get y'all.
All right, guys.
Tim Cole with Bob Hintz back at halftime here. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half. Run down the stats for you real quickly. For the Crabbers in the first half, they had 5 first downs. They had 112 yards rushing, 28 yards passing, a total of 140 yards offense. 2 out of 5 pass completions, no interceptions. They were 2 out of 6 on third down conversions. They fumbled the ball once and lost it. They were penalized 4 times for a total of 40 yards. And they had the ball for 11 minutes and 14 seconds. The Tabb Tigers on the other side, very even, other than that big scamper by Dwayne Murphy. Tabb had 4 first downs, 49 yards rushing, 12 passing, 61 total yards. 1 out of 5 for the passing department, no interceptions. 1 out of 4 third down conversions. They fumbled the ball twice. They lost it once. They had 5 penalties for 45 yards. They actually had the ball a little longer than Hampton in the first half, 12 minutes and 46 seconds. Individually, the Hampton Crabbers were paced by Dwayne Murphy, who's only carried the ball 5 times but has 101 yards. Of course, 2 of those carries netted him 90 yards. 59 yards or 60 yards, I guess, was for the touchdown. And then he had 31 yards on his last carry before the half to give him a total of 101 yards rushing. Matthews had 7 total on 4 carries, 4 yards for Key on 5 carries for the Hampton Crabbers. For the Tabb Tigers, they were led by Simeon Tucker with 64 yards on 9 attempts. Hoskins was sacked and had 4 actual carries for 21 yards minus. And that was pretty much it for the Tabb Tigers at halftime.
Only Mannington Never Wax floors have a protection layer that's so tough, it's like your feet never touch the floor. It's up to 5 times thicker than most inlaid floors, so only Mannington has a 10-year free replacement guarantee.
And now save 20% on 150 selected Mannington Never Wax floors during our Decorators Sale. Buy now and save, and you'll be walking on air.
The Hampton High School graduate and a supporter of Hampton City Schools.
And Tim, now let's run down to AG. He's got the Hampton cheerleaders. Take
Wouldn't
it away,
he always? He always does.
Yes.
And cheerleaders here to score 6-6. Let's get some names first.
Holly, Tiffany, Shan, Lisa, Jennifer, Jenny, Katie, Tara, Yvette, Allison, Che, Erica.
Okay, 6-6. What are we going to do in the second half?
We're going to kill them the second half. We're just going to jump right into the lead.
Okay, who's your favorite player?
Oh, no, there's so many.
All right, any prediction on the score?
We will beat Tabb.
All right, can we hear the favorite cheer real quick? What's your favorite cheer? All right, real quick. Go ahead.
You fight, fight, rip, roar, you try, just more than red, white, willows, but you can't crush them. You can't crush them. You fight, fight, rip, roar, you try, just more than red, white, willows, but you can't crush them. You can't crush them. You fight, fight.
Well, Tim,
all right.
AG's got that real hard job down there, but I'm interested to see what kind of adjustments they made. Hampton did not play as well as Mike wanted them to. I'm sure they lacked some consistency, and Charlie Hovers, of course, will also make some adjustments, but Hampton will have to kick the ball off to the Tabb Tigers to start the second half.
Tim Cole, Bob Hinson, A.G. Wobble coming to you live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. Second half just about set to get underway. If you missed the first half, you missed a pretty even ball game as the Hampton Crabbers and the Tabb Tigers traded touchdowns and could not get the conversions. So it's 6-6 at halftime. 24 minutes remaining here in our first live broadcast here on the Southeastern Cablecasters Network. Kickoff is taken by the Tigers at the 10-yard line.
And almost broke it.
Out to the 36. That's William Buchanan, number 15 for the Tigers. Took it from the 6 out to the 36. So a 30-yard return for the Tigers.
Buchanan moves the ball over the 35 to about the 37-yard line, where it's going to be.
They marked the ball just across the 36-yard line. So the Tigers, coming off of a season last year where they were 11-1, their only loss to York High School in the playoffs, a 32-24 loss at the hands of the York Falcons. Simeon Tucker carries for the Tigers. He picks up yardage across the 40 to the 42. So a pickup of 6, about 6. Second down and 4 for the Tigers. Wayne Hoskins, number 2, the quarterback. Handoff straight up the middle for the Tigers, and that is number 33 for the Tigers is John Citizen.
And that's very close to a first down, and it is a first down.
Number 81, Brian Gerzak.
Brian Gerzak was in on the stop for the Crabbers, but that's a good sign for if you're a if you're a Tabb rooter, get the ball and first couple plays you pick up that initial first down to start the second half, and now we got it looks like a timeout or something on the field, and it is. Tabb is calling a timeout. So while they're doing that, the coaches are going to go out and talk to their players, and I'm sure Mike Smith is going to have some things to say to his ball players while this timeout is going on.
Yes, there's 30 seconds, so we can get that in there.
It's always an adjustment period during this second half because all the coaches, each one of the coaches take their individual groups, whether you're defensive line or backfield or the offensive line or the backfields or whatever, and they make some adjustments there. As you can see some of the players on the Hampton bench.
10:34 to go here in the third quarter. 12-minute quarters in high school football. And now with the timeout on the field, we're going to go to a message from Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle.
Of America. There's something to sing about at Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle. New 89 Hampton Chevrolet S10 pickups or Geo Spectrums, $149 down, $149 a month. Save hundreds now on clear out of all Chevrolet trucks, Blazers, S10 trucks, S10 Blazers, and vans. Hampton Chevrolet Geo Jeep Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard. Ooh, the heartbeat of America. That's
Steve Dillard picks up about 2 yards on the carry. The ball is just short of the midfield stripe. Second down and about 8 for the Tigers. Just underway here in the second half. Tabb and Hampton knotted up at 6. Not much happening there as stacked up at the line of scrimmage is John Citizen.
And that was a misdirection play. The backfield was going one way and the quarterback handed off on a misdirection, but it did not fool the Hampton Crabbers.
Did you hear that?
So the Crabbers stopped Citizen for no gain. Actually, it looked like there might have been a slight loss on the play, but they've marked the ball just again shy of the 50. So it brings up a third down now. Third down and about 8 for the Tigers.
Well, this is a passing situation, but he was only 1 of 5 in the first half, so let's see if he settled down a little bit.
Handoff again, right side. This is Citizen across the Hampton 45, close to the 44. It'll be a yard and some change short of a first down.
Well, John Citizen did a good job, and he's a big kid. He's 6'3", but they only got him listed at 165, but he is a hard man to bring down. He was hit 2 or 3 times and it's just stopped about a yard and a half short of the first down, which bring up a kicking situation. You see the replay on this last play. It's just a handoff, straight handoff, and he follows his blockers real good before he's met in the backfield, and you can see that he was not going to be brought down by one ball player.
That's correct. I apologize. I incorrectly identified him as Citizen. That's in fact Steve Dillard, number 32, who had the ball. Nonetheless, it's a 4th and 1, and Rorick will be back in deep punt formation, standing on his side of the 50. He angles the ball to the far sideline, and one of the Tabb Tigers downs the ball inside the 15. So the Crabbers will get the ball, but they'll be deep in their own territory.
That was a nice kick. He angled it out of bounds, trying to get it to go out of bounds so that he would pin the Crabbers back and not give him a chance to run the ball back, which worked out real good. But that young man has been doing everything. He plays offense, he plays defense, and he punts for him. Talking about Jim Rourke.
Clock moving with 8 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Hampton and Tabb tied at 6. We're coming to you live from Todd Stadium in Newport News. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble. And Hampton Crabbers now with the football. Out across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
And that's the first time that basic play of Hampton opened up a nice hole for number 20.
Cal Key.
Cal Key. Maybe there was some adjustments made in that offensive line blocking, and you can see there's a nice hole there. And he's picked up 5 yards before he's tackled.
He's not quite that fast. I want the folks at home to know.
Well, I thought he was doing a real good job. Joe Lewis, our slow motion replay, well, he didn't want to miss this next play, so he made him move a little quicker. Nice going, Joe.
I wish Joe could make me move that fast. Struggling to get. This is Cal Key again, struggling to get to the first down marker, but he's going to be short of that. It'll be third down for the Crabbers. Third down and about a yard to go.
And he was still digging. Somebody was holding him. He was still moving his feet trying to get it, but this is a very critical play for the Crabbers. They need to get that initial first down to get a little confidence here. And maybe they can establish a little ball control.
The Crabbers going with a younger team this year. Of course, last year was laden with seniors, and they knew what they were doing. Of course, these kids are doing a great job, these young players for the Crabbers. Key is a junior, as is Matthews, the quarterback. And Matthews is going to be wrapped up for a loss. Looks like we might have had a late hit there, as a couple of Tabb Tigers took the liberty of letting Mr. Matthews have it when he was down, but the officials rule that there was no piling on.
That was a tough play, but that was just a naked bootleg. He faked the ball, and then he took the ball by himself. As you can see on the replay, he just fakes the ball and hangs on to it, but did not fool number 55 for the Tabb Tigers, and that's Melvin Griffin. He was not fooled at all. He's 6'2", 223.
Unfortunately, Melvin Griffith is the player down on the field, apparently with a cramp, we hope. At least we hope that that's the extent of the injury, but he is down on the field.
But you're right, Tim. It could very well have been a flag thrown on that play, because the two Tabb Tigers that came in late could have been called for unnecessary roughness, but the official right there on the spot did not think so it was not called.
And we're happy to see that Mel Griffith is able to trot off the field under his own steam, so we're hopeful that that's all it was a bit of a cramp. But nonetheless, the Crabbers now looking at a 4th and 6 at their 18-yard line. We'll have Bailey back in deep punt formation. He hits a line drive fielded by Buchanan at the 48-yard line, picking his way into Hampton territory. He's swarmed over as he reaches the Hampton 48-yard line.
And that was a line drive, which will sometimes generate a nice return, but Hampton did a good job on their special teams of covering that kick.
6:09 remaining.
I should say punt instead of kick, but he booted it, didn't he?
Close enough. So Tabb will have the ball to start the drive in Hampton territory as we watch a replay of the punt and the return by Buchanan. There you see he got it on his side of midfield and then darted and dodged his way and got over to Hampton territory. This is again Buchanan breaking one tackle and gets across the Hampton 40 down to about the 39-yard line.
Well, Tabb is playing with a whole lot more emotion and confidence right now than the Crabbers are.
You know, what I started to say was both of these teams are looking at a, quote, rebuilding year here with a lot of young players on both squads that did not see a great deal of action last year with the varsity. Coach Hovis was telling me earlier this week that his team is laden with players from his JV team, but he has built a winning tradition at Tabb, and he felt that was just as important as anything was the attitude of his players. And he said they've got a good attitude, and he feels that they'll go a long ways this year.
And if they mark it where the forward progress, that's a first down for the Tigers, so let's see what happens. Close enough to look at it, and maybe Eagle Eye Cole will tell us whether it's a first down or not.
Citizen is a junior. He was carrying the ball. It looks like it's going to be just a little short of the first down. I would suspect that it's going to be about the nose of the football short. Get a chance to watch it again on the replay, and again we apologize earlier for not being able to get the replay to some of you folks out there, but I understand now we've got that problem corrected. There you see Citizen struggling and fighting for every inch.
And Tim, you have got the eagle eye that just goes beyond belief. There must be magic in this. I know you talking to somebody down in the field, well, that was 2 out of 2 for you so far.
Just missed it, huh?
He was the nose of the football away.
So it's third down and inches for the Tigers. Hoskins will be the quarterback. He's got him in the 9. Gives off to the second man through. That's Buchanan. He's got the first down and then some as he is pushed out of bounds, but not before he gets down to the 21-yard line. So the Tigers have come back, and they are deep in Hampton territory. A decided underdog, the Tabb Tigers, taking it to the Crabbers.
Well, they're not playing like an underdog. They're playing like they're going to win this ball game, and that goes. You got to take your hats off to that coaching staff over there on the replay, and just did a good job of getting away from that tackler, and ran out of the arms of another one before he's run out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 for the Tigers. Inside of 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 6-6 our score. Handoff again to Buchanan. He crosses the 20 down to about the 17, and a late flag deep in the backfield of the Hampton defense. So we'll have to wait and see who this is going to be. This could be a real interesting situation.
It really could be. That was number 1 for the Tabb Tigers. That's Daniel Kane was the right receiver down there blocking, and it looks like a personal foul called, and I'm not sure who it's going to be against, but if he's talking to Tabb, it's going to be against Hampton.
It is against the Crabbers. They're at the 17-yard line, and if it's a 15-yarder, of course, it'll be half the distance to the goal line. But Tabb could find themselves in a first and goal situation. A dead ball foul. We'll listen to referee Whitley as he'll explain to us what happened.
A dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense.
So Jack Whitley.
A dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, first down.
Jack Windley has indicated that's exactly what the call was. So the Crabbers have taken one of those penalties that makes a coach go gray before his time. So the Tabb Tigers now with a first and goal at the 9. Hoskins to Buchanan. He's down to the 7.
Well, he's not being tackled until after he picks up 3 or 4 yards, and that's uncharacteristic of a Hampton Crabbers. But again, we must repeat that this is a young team out there. Both teams are young. Right now, Tabb is playing with a whole lot more confidence than the Crabbers.
Coach Hovis mentioned to me in our discussions this week that he feels the way to attack Hampton is to go directly at them. He said their pursuit and their aggressiveness in that regard is superior to most teams, and therefore the only way you can really move the ball on Hampton is to go right at their strength.
Well, he's doing a good job of it tonight.
Second and goal to 6. Hoskins on perhaps a busted play is going to be thrown behind the 10-yard line.
And that was a busted play. He just never got the ball into the runner that he wanted to, but it was also a smart play in that he didn't try to force it in and went ahead and kept and tried to pick up some yardage on his own.
So it's third down and goal. The ball is marked just short of the 10-yard line, so it's a 4-yard loss on the play. Actually, they'll mark it, in fact, inside the 10. It brings up an interesting situation now. During the warm-ups, I was watching Damon Burst kicking 45-yard field goals for the Tigers.
And he is a big, strong kid.
If it comes down to that, I think he'll have little problem with the distance. Hoskins gives to Buchanan. Buchanan is down close to the goal line. He'll be short by a couple of yards, but it'll bring up a 4th down and goal for the Tigers. So it's decision time, Coach. What do you do?
Well, I tell you, that picked up about 8 to 9 yards on that run. And, of course, it looks right now like the offensive line of the Tabb Tigers are controlling that line of scrimmage, and they are moving the ball well against the Crabbers. So we have a timeout right now as we see the replay of the last play. And Mike Smith is going out to talk to his group, and over there to the far side, Willard Hunt, one of the assistant coaches who is the offensive coordinator, is going out to talk with his group. So we got a timeout on the field to see what's going to happen. Are they going to go for it? Or are they going to wait? Are going to go kick the field goal? And it looks like they're going to kick the field goal.
Tim?
Yes, A.G. A.G. Wobble down to the field.
I think Tabb remembers what happened last year when they went for it on that 1-yard line.
Yeah, they didn't make it that one time, but they're definitely going to go for the extra point And you notice what they do is they line everybody up on the right-hand side.
This is not an extra point.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Yeah,
you're right. Field goal.
They've got a real bizarre lineup here. Buchanan didn't play in the first half, and he's come out here and really tore up the Crabbers here in the second half. So here you see a bizarre alignment. Now you'll see the rest of the squad come over and align themselves for the field goal attempt. It looked like they were going to do another one of those famous Nebraska plays there for a moment. But Burrist is on to try the field goal. The kick is long enough. A flag is down, and if flag is down, we'll have to wait and see. The field goal is good.
If it's a holding, then that's going to take them back 15 yards, which is really going to make it tough to kick a field goal from 15 yards further back.
So the field goal of 20 yards was in fact true, but a flag is on the field. Now we'll have to wait and see. And of course, if it's against the Tigers, needless to say, the penalty will be taken.
Oh, absolutely, and it is definitely against them. And it goes from, I guess it's a 10-yard penalty. Let's hear.
Holding! Defense! Replay the down! Holding! Defense! Replay the down!
I think Jack Windley doesn't need our microphone. The man has got a strong set of lungs there. We can hear him nice and clearly.
Yeah, he can turn his mic off anytime. We don't need to hear his whistle.
The kick now from the 18, which makes it a 28-yarder. It's long enough, and it's good. No flags on the field. The score is good.
No, the score is 9-6. Tell you, that was a tremendous drive by the Tabb Tigers.
Okay, we're going to take a brief timeout on this message from Peninsula Screen Printing.
Since 1972, Peninsula Screen Print has been providing the Peninsula with custom imprinted caps, jackets, sweatwear, and athletic uniforms. Now, a full line of promotional items such as cups, mugs, visors, pens, and frisbees are available to help your business, club, school, or special event get your message across. Also specializing in adult and youth team sports, Peninsula Screen Print has become the leader by offering such brand names as Bike, Sand Knit, Hanes, and Screen Stars Best at wholesale prices. In-house graphic artists and screen printing afford us the opportunity to provide custom logos and art to meet your design needs. From the art room to specialized screen making to the finished product, we have the facilities to meet your deadline. Located in the Old Fox Hill section of Hampton, see us this week for personalized service or phone 850-2244 for more information. Peninsula Screen Print, your one-stop walking advertisement shop.
All right, Damon Burrist has the ball teed up. He has just put the Tigers ahead by 3 points. This kick is taken by Becknell at the 9-yard line for the Crabbers. Up the middle, out close to the 30-yard line. The Crabbers will set up 1st and 10, trailing for the first time in the ball game. That last score, by the way, took 11 plays. Tabb controlled the ball for 4 minutes and 22 seconds. 47 yards, the capper, a 28-yard field goal by Damon Burrist, and we have an injured Tabb Tiger down at the 45-yard line. Well, I can't make out his number, so I won't even speculate at this point. But one of the Tigers is down.
Number 50, Chris Holbert, and number 31, Rodney.
All right, so we've got a timeout.
Only Mannington Never Wax floors have a protection layer that's so tough, it's like your feet never touch the floor. It's up to 5 times thicker than most inlaid floors, so only Mannington has a 10-year free floor guarantee. You wear it out, we'll replace it free. The toughest protection layer, the toughest guarantee. Mannington.
Buy now and save, and you'll be walking on air. Billy James is a Hampton High School graduate and a supporter of Hampton City Schools.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. There's something to sing about at Hampton Chevrolet GOG Eagle. New 89 Hampton Chevrolet S10 pickups or Geospectrums, $149 down, $149 a month. Save hundreds now on clear out of all Chevrolet trucks, Blazers, S10 trucks, S10 Blazers, and vans. Hampton Chevrolet GOG Eagle, 2 blocks east of I-64 on Mercury Boulevard. the heartbeat of America.
We just missed a fine play on Aaron Matthews. Did a quarterback keeper, Tim, and run it out of bounds, and then was thrown out of bounds hard after he was out, and it was a penalty, and it looks like it'll be a foul against the Tabb Tigers. Tacked onto that run. Now, he started at the 20, looks like about the 29-yard line, and ran the ball up to the 48-yard line of Tabb, and it looked like they're going to tack on a 15-yarder on top of that.
Thank you for that recap, Bob, as the Tigers leading by 9-6. This game very similar to last year's game in the closeness of it. The Tigers won by 3 last year on a field goal. Being the
a dead ball, personal foul, defense. Hold up, man, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Dead ball, personal foul, defense, first down, out of bounds.
2:14 remaining here in the third quarter. 9-6 Tabb. Hampton is driving. And that's Dwayne Murphy breaking another big one inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
Well, Tim, this drive started at the Hampton 29 the 29, and it's already gone down in 2 plays. Of course, they had a nice 15-yard penalty tacked on. It wouldn't hurt.
First and 10 for the Crabbers. They mark his forward progress to the 18-yard line. 1:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Down close to the 10-yard line. Cal Key carries for the Crabbers.
Well, this is what Hampton's got to do. They've got to establish some offensive might out there and get in the end zone and get this game back in their pocket.
Progress marked to the 12-yard line. Second down and about 4 for the Crabbers. Matthews keeps. He finds a big hole. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown.
He called his own number, Tim, and that was really nice play and a nice bit of running.
So Aaron Matthews keeps the ball and goes 13 yards for the touchdown. Get a chance to see it again.
You can see he did a good job of faking and drove right up the middle, got out, outran somebody there, got tackled at the 5, Tim, and then broke that tackle and just carried him, the next tackler right into the end zone. What a fine run by Aaron Matthews.
The scoring drive for the Crabbers, 71 yards in 4 plays, and it took a minute.
Matthews scored a touchdown last year for the Crabbers in limited action. This time the drive is 71 yards on 5 plays. Capped by the 13-yard touchdown run by young Aaron Matthews, and he puts the Crabbers back on top by the score of 12-9. And Mike Smith's been out on the field talking with the team.
Guess what he was talking about? Not by kicking an extra point, but by going for 2, Tim.
Well, they appear to be lining up for 1.
Well, maybe he's fooling them or myself. I don't know, but well, at this point they've got a
3-point lead, so
yeah,
you really want a 1.
You got to get to 1, yes, absolutely.
Because 1 doesn't mean any more than 2 at this point. Bailey's kick is long enough, and it is good. So Bailey, who missed his first extra point.
Well, evidently Mike went out there, and what he did was just kind of settle him down a little bit. Just told him, hey, you've been doing it in practice. Just take your time, keep your head down, nice follow through, and we'll get the extra point. We'll go up by 4. A lot of action in this third quarter. We still got 1:01 to go, Tim.
Well, if you missed the first half, The Crabbers and the Tigers were tied at 6 after the first half. Murphy scored for Hampton to open the scoring at 5:50 of the first quarter. He went 60 yards, and the extra point was no good. They led 6-0 at that point. Then Tabb came back with just 41 seconds. We'll watch the replay of the touchdown. Tabb came back at just with 41 seconds remaining in the half on Tucker's 40-yard run to make it 6-6 at halftime. There you see Aaron Matthews as he scores his second career touchdown for the Hampton Crabbers, his first this year. And James Bailey will kick off for the Crabbers. Buchanan is smothered after he picks the ball up at the 23-yard line.
Well, the Crabbers seem to be playing with a little more emotion than they did at the beginning of this second half. Nothing will get you.
And that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wake me up time, and they have reawakened. They went 71 yards on that last drive on 5 plays for the touchdown. Ball comes loose. The Crabbers pick it up. That's Brian Gerzak, but he will not be able to advance that ball. The touchdown
they called him down.
Yeah,
they called him down.
They're going to say that the ball was dead.
Well, I believe what he's going to call, Tim, is that the whistle had blown. But I think Gerzak did a good job. You pick it up and run, you do it anyway. But that was a heads-up play by the Crabbers. As we'll see there on the replay, is that he's right there. The ball comes free, and he's not. That was a real quick whistle.
It really was.
Quick whistle.
Good job on the replay, guys, because that man was still down or still up on his feet, and was not completely stopped. So the break goes to the Tigers this time, as it might have been a fumble recovery at least, and possibly a score for the Crabbers.
Well, he couldn't advance. He couldn't advance that ball. That would have been a score.
1 second remaining, no time remaining here in the third quarter. So that is the end of our third quarter, as we have seen the Crabbers and the Tigers trade scores here in the third quarter. Tabb with a 28-yard field goal, Hampton with a 13-yard touchdown. And the Crabbers now have gone up on top 13-9, and we're going down now to A.G. Wobble on the field.
Oh, we got Lonnie Mann here. Lonnie on the state championship basketball team. You helping out the football team. Things looking okay right now. What about it?
Yeah, things are looking good. I think we might score again because these guys don't give up, and Coach Smith is a great coach.
Got a little questionable call there on that fumble.
That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen in football. I'm a basketball man myself, but that was a bad call.
Lonnie, what about that basketball team this year? Just a moment. Let's. What does it look like? A repeat?
We have a chance. We have a lot of young people, but if we work hard as we did last season, and we have a lot of leadership, we can do it.
All right, Lonnie, good luck to you. Looks like you're a Crabber through and through, helping out on the football team also.
Got to be.
All right, Lonnie Mann, Tim and Bob.
Thanks, AG. We got to see Lonnie Mann on that state championship basketball team last year, along with some other Crabbers that will be returning.
You know, it's far back.
We've got a timeout on the field as they're getting ready to start this fourth quarter. And, I was impressed with the drive that Hampton put together. It wasn't a long drive in the sense of a lot of plays, but they sure picked up a lot of yardage, and they really fired up defensively.
The Tigers bring it out. 22-yard line. Second down and 12. Flag is down.
Looks like it's going to be a preliminary signal. It's going to be a illegal block or something against the Tabb Tigers. But that runner, who was that running for Tabb that time?
That was Simeon Tucker.
Well, he did a good job of running away from a tackler by I believe that was number 1 for the Crabbers, Becknell. He just ran right out of Becknell's arms.
Incidentally, this Tucker is just a sophomore, so he's got 3 years to play for the Tigers, and Coach Hovis is real happy about that, as well as should.
And he's the young man that didn't play in the first half.
18.
Well, that was Buchanan that didn't play in the first half.
Offense, repeat the down.
Tucker had 64 yards in the half.
Offense, second down.
That 6-yard gain gives him 70 for the ball game, so he hasn't seen. Buchanan has done a lot more running here in the second half, but that's been partly because I think the Crabbers are keying on Tucker.
Yeah, that was a penalty. It ended up being about a 5-yard penalty. It brings up a 2nd and 17.
So the run by Tucker was negated.
Yes, but there's a fumble picked up by the quarterback and he fumbled again.
Now let's see now.
And now he's going to call it down again, saying the ground can't cause a fumble, I guess.
I'll let them unravel this, but it appears that Tabb will retain possession of the ball.
Well, that was very smart on quarterback for the Tabb. He could have very well lost a lot of...
Let's see if we can watch again on the replay and see how this developed. Here you see Hoskins, the quarterback. He never gets the snap. He picks it up and falls forward, and you see, whoop, he was losing control of that ball before he hit the ground. So another tough call for the officials there, and another good job by the replay crew. Play stands. It's 3rd down and 10. Hoskins sets that screen up in the middle, and the Hampton defense was ready for it.
It looks like number 55 for the Crabbers was right in the middle of that thing. He was the only one.
Curtis Wilson
did an excellent defensive job.
So a yard loss on the play makes it 4th down now and 11, and we'll watch this on the replay again. Here you see Hoskins completes the pass, but right there is Curtis Wilson to put the stops on the receiver.
And there was 2 blockers out there, but nobody picked him up.
Again, no pressure from the Crabbers. O'Rourke has all day to kick the ball. And Mines fields it at the 35-yard line. He's up to the 50, the 45, to the 40, and taken down as he crosses the 40. So the Crabbers will have real good field position for this possession. 9:57 remaining in the ball game. I should say regulation time. We haven't had to discuss this much because there is a 4-point difference. But just to make you fans aware of the fact that in high school ball there is a contingent for overtime. We'll get to that if it needs to happen, but don't think for a minute that it ends in a knotted score, because it doesn't.
No, there's no ties anymore. No more kissing your sister, I guess.
Ball is marked inside the Tabb 40. 1st down for the Crabbers. Crabbers leading 13-9. We're in the 4th quarter at Todd Stadium. This is Dwayne Murphy once again picking up good yardage. He picks up about 9 on the carry. But Dwayne Murphy's done a real good job of carrying the ball for the Crabbers. He got 9 that time, and he has 116 before that, so he's got 125 yards for his efforts this evening. Get a chance to see him again.
Yeah, and you can see he really does a good job of picking the hole. He's getting good blocks up front, and he picks the hole, and he goes to the soft spot. That's instinctive running.
Back to the live action now. 2nd down and a yard. And the 1st down and then some. Dwayne Murphy again gets the call. He's down inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. So Matthews has found a favorite ball carrier in this ball game. Dwayne Murphy, without any question, is tearing up the defense of Tabb. Now, Murphy last year had a good season. He had 115 carries, 749 yards, and he scored 10 touchdowns for the Crabbers. So even though Todd Summers carried the ball the bulk of the time last year for the Crabbers, Dwayne Murphy did see a lot of action and did a fine job for them. 1st down, again, Murphy gets the call. Murphy with a Tabb player holding on to his shirt tail, gets the ball down close to the 7-yard line.
And the reason he is picking up so much yardage is if you watch the line of scrimmage, Hampton is dominating. They are coming off the ball. They are moving the Tabb players back. And by the time that the ball carrier gets to the hole, he's not only got a hole, he's got a nice soft spot, as we can see on the replay, that there's a nice hole there by that offensive line, and he gets through, and one guy's hanging onto his jersey, slowing him down, but that's very close to a 1st down, and I didn't get a chance to get your eagle eye this time.
I would have said it was just short.
I wonder why. Yeah. Oh, Tim.
I would have said it because it was. So Murphy picks up almost 10 that time, so he's going to be well over 130 yards on the ballgame. You know, part of the factor here, and certainly Tabb's team is in good shape, but it's not a very cool evening out here. I failed to mention the fact that it was right around 80 degrees at game time and relatively humid. So some of these kids could be getting a little tired right now. And right now the Hampton team is dominating the line of scrimmage, as they so many times do. 8:33 remaining in the 4th quarter. Hampton threatening with the ball at the Tabb 7-yard line. Again, Dwayne Murphy gets the call. Again, he scores.
there was a penalty after he got in the line, but this brings up the new rule change. Used to be that they would tack the penalty on the kickoff. No longer can do that. He'll either do it on the extra point, or they'll take the play or something. It's a rule change, and I think it's a good rule change. You take the play because it's a touchdown. As you can see, Murphy gets right on through, breaks 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and then number 32, after he's in there, he quits running. He just throws it down.
Personal foul, defense. Be ministered on it, tough a point. A dead ball, personal foul, defense. Be ministered on it, tough a point.
See, I don't like that rule because that gives the other team a cheap shot if they want to take it. I'm not calling that a cheap shot, but I'm saying that if you're so inclined, you can say, well, shoot, what are they going to do? Take the penalty, or are they going to take the touchdown? Of course you're going to take the touchdown.
Right, and you get the penalty now, which,
you're already 3 yards away. What's the difference?
Well, now you're 2 yards and you go for 2, or a yard and a half and you go for 2.
And that's what Hampton is doing, and that's what they'll do as Aaron Matthews keeps on the quarterback keeper. And that's going to make the score now 21-9 in favor of the Crabbers.
Well, boy, I'm so impressed with the Crabbers. After they went behind 6-9, they came out and they have dominated this game since then. It's just been unreal. And here we can see that instant replay of the fake to Matthews fake to Murphy, and just walks into the end zone by himself and picks up the 2-point conversion, make it 21-9 with 8:24 to go in the fourth quarter. And Tim, we have to start thinking about who we're going to pick for player of the game. We've got a couple things that have been donated to the Hampton School Boards, a nice plaque that'll have the picture of the recipient on it, plus a staff shirt that'll have WHCS Sports 29 Player of the Week on it, donated by Turner's Sports Place, and of course the plaque comes from DC Engraving out in Grafton.
I like that new logo for Channel 29. I don't know if we've had an opportunity to show the folks all that pretty logo tonight or not, but we should.
Well, if we get a chance, we'll turn around and yours is bigger. Well, no, it's just stretched tighter. Maybe that's what I want to say.
That's because I wear a 48 chubby.
No, is that what it is?
Mr. Murphy certainly has to be strongly considered for player of the game with 156 yards on 10 carries. He's only averaging a little more than 15 yards every time he carries it.
A nice run back by the Tigers all the way across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Steve Dillard returned that ball for the Tigers, as they are not giving up as no one would expect them to. They trail 21-9 now, as the Crabbers found themselves behind. As we'll watch the replay, they found themselves behind 9-6, and that's probably something Tabb shouldn't have done. They kind of awakened a sleeping giant,
so to speak. Yes.
And the Crabbers are back in this ball game big time, as they have scored 2 consecutive touchdowns.
And that's a nice run by Dillard before he is tackled over on the sideline right in front of the Tabb bench.
Tabb will start from their 35. 8:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Hampton 21, Tabb 9. Hoskins gives to Buchanan. Buchanan is wrestled to the ground at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they may give him about a half a yard, but that was a hard half a yard. There was a host of Crabbers that met him on the right side of that defensive line.
As we mentioned before, Buchanan did not see any action in the first half for the Tigers, and all of his yardage, 38 yards, have come on 6 carries here in the second half. The Crabbers have 6 first downs here in the second half. They had 4 in the first half, so they've got 10 first downs on the ball game. Little gain on the play. Second down, let's call it 10. This is again Buchanan. He gets little or nothing, maybe a yard.
And the number 1, Joe Becknell, led 2 or 3 other Crabbers on that stop that time, but it was all on the left-hand side of that defensive unit. And they are really fired up. I've seen the Hampton kind of go to sleep a little bit there at the beginning of that third quarter, but they are wide awake and are mean now.
Clock moving with 6:47 remaining in the ball game. Tabb now looking at a 3rd down and 9 from their 36. Hoskins gives to Buchanan, and Buchanan gets maybe a yard at the best, and it'll force a 4th down and long for the Tigers. So the Hampton defense, which coming into the game had lost all their starters with one exception, that was Adrian Billups, who returned for the Crabbers. Everybody else, including James Wilson, Jamie Patterson, Tony Hyman.
Well, they got Brian Gerzak is back, and
well, but he wasn't a first-line defender last year. He wasn't on the starting defensive team. He was a starter on offense, but he didn't play both ways last year, I'm told.
Well, Aaron Mundy played a whole lot on defense last year.
Contact with the kicker. 2 flags are down, one at the line of scrimmage, one as the kicker was roughed, and another flag downfield. So there are yellow hankies all over the place as Emmanuel Mines says, I'll run this thing back. You guys sort it out afterwards. He takes a hard fall on the surface.
Well, I tell you, the first flag was Joe Becknell was offside. The second flag was Joe Becknell ran into the kicker without touching the ball. And I don't know, was there a 3rd flag?
They picked up the 3rd flag. So
they said, the heck with that one. We got the other 2, right?
We got enough down already. We're going to get a chance to watch this again, and maybe we can see exactly what happened.
Well, it'll be a 1st down.
There's Becknell. You can make contact with the kicker, but you've got to make contact with that ball or you have to be blocked into the kicker.
That's correct.
And neither of those things happen, so it'll be against the Crabbers, I'm sure. Although they are, in fact, discussing it with Hampton right now. Here you see the tail end of that run back as Mines shows good speed and good moves here before he's shoved out of bounds.
We have motion, the offense, that we're off in the kicker on the defense. We'll replay it down.
Well, that was 50% correct. I thought he was offside, but he was drawn offside by motion. So we'll do it all over again.
So offsetting penalties at 5:45 in the 4th quarter. And as you heard Jack Windley, the referee, say, offsetting penalties, the play goes over. So Mines will still line up inside his 30. And Rourke will kick from his 30. Right-footed kicker trying to kick it away from Mines. Does a good job. Mines gets it on the 3rd hop. Breaks 1 tackle. And now he's not going to get much more than that as he'll be stopped shy of the 29-yard line.
Well, that's a whole lot better for Tabb than being down about the 35 where he ran it back on the first kickoff.
So the Crabbers now, leading by the score of 21-9, will start from their 29-yard line. Mines comes out of the ball game for the Crabbers, and checking in his place is Tarek Cassels, number 8. Aaron Matthews has gone all the way at quarterback for the Crabbers. Running backs are Murphy and Key. This is Matthews handing off to Murphy. This is Murphy, got another foot race. Murphy has broken some big plays again. That play was deceptive. I just happened to have my glasses on Murphy. We've got a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Our statistician tonight, Jerry Z. the Zomplis, has informed me. Eagle Eye Zomplis tells us that they've got a flag down, so this may come back.
Well, there is a flag down, and it looks like it's going to go against the Crabbers because they're talking to Tabb, and everybody is walking back upfield, as you can see on your screen. So that'll be a penalty against the Crabbers, and maybe we can pick it up on the replay of what exactly happened. And you can see that misdirection play. It really
illegal motion, offense.
That's a big illegal motion offense because they finally caught Murphy.
An illegal motion,
down about
offense,
the 20.
Replay it down.
So a big gainer for Murphy that would have put him over 200 yards for the night is called back. And the Crabbers will start again. This time they'll be 5 yards deeper at the 24. Again, Mines bringing the play in from Mike Smith. Replaces Cassels in the lineup for the Crabbers. Clock restarted inside of 5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, A.G. Womble, and the crew from Channel 29 in the Hampton City Schools bringing you this ball game. Good breaker for Cal Key. He's out close to the midfield stripe before he's taken down at the 49-yard line of Hampton.
And is Hampton dominating that line of scrimmage or what? They are just opening up some awesome holes, and those backs are popping through. They look fresh. They played the whole game. Cal Key and Murphy and that whole backfield has been playing the whole ball game, and they're just popping through like they're fresh. Look at this hole. Boom, right there. Huge hole.
25 yards on the carry for Cal Key. Key, a junior.
Reminds you a little bit of the way Murphy played last year. Murphy didn't play a whole lot, but when he got the ball, he did well, as he's went over 700 yards and 10 touchdowns.
I mentioned earlier that Matthews was a junior. He is, in fact, a senior, as the senior Matthews connects with Aaron Monday at the 41. All right, we probably want to determine at this time who our player of the game with. It's kind of hard to argue with Dwayne Murphy's stats for this ball game.
It sure is. And we had a T-shirt from the Turner Sports Place that will be, it's not a T-shirt, it's a staff shirt that AG will try to get up with Dwayne before the end of the game, and then we'll get a photo of him from somebody and get it on the plaque, and we'll get it over to the school to him.
We want to make sure that the fans understand that this is a very unofficial type thing. It's just simply our vote in an effort to possibly single out one player. It's certainly not meant to slide into the other players, because there have been a lot of fine efforts out on the field tonight by both offensive and defensive teams. And, you could argue for Aaron Matthews. Cal Key's done a good job. The Hampton defense, Curtis Wilson's done a good job.
Absolutely.
Aaron Monday. So certainly we want to emphasize that this player of the game thing is just kind of a fun thing we want to do by, in our opinions, just picking out one player that we think has done an outstanding job in the ball game.
Right. I do want to mention that DC Engraving is the one that is doing the plaque, and they're going to have a picture on there by the Magic of Metal photo, and it is magic. Dave told me so.
Second down at the Tabb 40. Matthews fakes, keeps, and he's got a defender from Tabb in his face, and he will go down in the grasp of Melvin Griffin, who has done a very good job on defense tonight for the Tabb Tigers. And while I have this chance, Bob, I do want to again thank all the people in the Southeastern Cable Cast network that made this possible. The Portsmouth Channel 28, Claude Parent. In Norfolk Channel 28, Danny Simons. Chesapeake ACC 40, that's Raymond Jones over there. And here at Newport News, our extra thanks to Paul Cummings at Channel 36, because without his cooperation, this feed would have never gotten to anybody else.
Right. We should let the people know that in Hampton it's Channel 29.
Absolutely.
The other people don't know it's 29 in Hampton.
That's true.
It's WHCS.
WHCS, and Dr. Sam Stills, our very able director, producer, and all-around good guy, who has helped put all this wonderful stuff together. He has done a super job of coordinating a very difficult effort tonight. The first time we've gone live, and to him and our entire crew, our hats off. Again, that misdirection play. Again, Dwayne Murphy. This time he fumbles at the tail end of the play. They're going to say he was down.
Yeah, the same thing. That's consistency. Now, I'm glad to see that, because that is consistency that they have shown tonight. They're calling it the same way, that the ground cannot cause the fumble, and that's a huge pickup for Murphy. And I'm not sure how many yards that gives him. It was a 17 yards, and that gives him 173 yards for the game, and he's no doubt the player of the game.
I think it's unanimous that he is, and again, we congratulate other players who had outstanding ball games as well. The Hampton Crabbers, as a team, had to regroup after falling behind to this spunky Tabb team, and will apparently go on to a 21-9 victory here with inside of a minute and 10 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Aaron Matthews again gives off to Murphy. He struggles forward to the 26-yard line.
And that was a fourth down, and he picked up the first down. And that'll just about, well, that stops the clock with 1:01, but they'll restart it again once they move the chains. But that just really sealed the fate there. The Tabb has no chance coming back now.
We want to urge you to stay tuned at the conclusion of tonight's ball game. Our roving reporter, A.G. Womble, will try and get a chance to have some post-game interviews, and we will have those for you at the conclusion of the game, as well as some final statistics from tonight's ball game. And again, we want to thank all the fine people here at Todd Stadium for all of their help in our setup too. As usual, we've always been appreciative of their help because they've always been so helpful. They're a fine group of professionals, and we couldn't do it without them, there's no question. Speaking of professionals, I want to run down these names real quickly. The folks will see their names on the crawl afterwards, but in case they head for the refrigerator for that after-game drink too early, we want to mention that Scotty Bowers is our director for today. Sam Still is our producer and stage director. Sam Still Jr. doing his able job on downfield camera. Keith Still doing an excellent job in his help. Ryan Lewis and Slow-Mo Joe Lewis. As the clock has run out on the ball game here, Hampton simply let the clock run down. Angela Brown, Beverly Penn, our lady in the van there, and Earl Johnson and Jerome Young. All these people making tonight's cablecast possible. Our crew doing a great job.
We have Angela up here with us, so we've got to be real good so she only gets us from the best side, right?
We don't have the best side.
We don't.
Well, there you see the final score. The Hampton Crabbers 29. The Tabb
21.
Tigers, excuse me, 21.
Yeah.
The Tabb Tigers 9. And we'll return with our wrap-up of tonight's game. But first, let's take a brief timeout and this message from Thompson Ford.
There's always been a Ford truck in our family. My grandpapa, he drove this very one to market every working day. There's nothing like the Ford truck, and you sure can't wear one out. And there's no easier place to buy one than Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're nice people out there. And they speak Ford, too.
Presents At the Commercials with Lewis and Justin.
You car buyers, come on out to Fast Eddie's Cheap New Used Automobiles, where all of our cars are loaded with your standard optional features. We got you multi-directional windshield wipers, push-button radio, circular tires, trunk-mounted spare, and dashboard heater vent. And this week you can get a cash rebate. You bring the cash, we'll rebate the hook after the switch. Fast Eddie.
And you can see them all at Thompson Ford in Hampton. They're mighty nice people out there.
Back at Todd Stadium, we're going out to the field now, and A.G. Wobble's got, what do you got with you, A.G.?
We got Aaron Matthews. Aaron, first of all, congratulations. Great game.
Thank you. Thank you.
First game, any first game jitters being quarterback for the Crabbers?
No, really. It's, you always get hyped up for a game a little bit, But, it wasn't nothing different.
All right. Describe that Murphy Ruski play that got you started.
Well, on the Murphy Ruski, if he's in the bull, kind of like we just pull out, fake like we're going around. And Murphy step in, everybody else move to the right. Murphy slide in, just take the ball, and the Lonzo, he'll lead him on the field.
Aaron, a little pressure on you when Tabb went up 9-6 there in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's just part of the game, I guess, Make it more interesting, see if we can really come back and get it, but that should never happen, though.
All right, Aaron, congratulations. Great game. It looks like another good season for the Crabbers.
Yeah, we're going to work hard. We're going to get back together. We're going to come back strong.
You got some good targets to throw to this year, too, it looks like.
Yeah, Aaron Monday and Brian Gerzak.
Right. Great game. Aaron Matthews, great game.
All right, AG, and I understand you got somebody else there from the Crabbers you want to have a chance to talk with as well.
I hope he would. Yeah, he's got the big
Rodney Riddick.
Rodney Riddick, a big guy.
Go ahead, AG.
All right, you got Rodney Riddick. Rodney, tough play on the inside there. I saw you a lot of key blocks in there.
Yes, sir. Well, we have a great offensive line coach, Coach James Mitchell, and he teaches you a lot.
Got behind a little bit there in the third quarter. Were you worried at all, Rodney?
I knew we would do a good job coming in because we worked real hard for this, and this mainly right here is what we've been preparing for.
All right. Coming off that state championship team last year, what are the characteristics of this team as you see it, Rodney, that differ from last year?
I think we have a strong unity bond, and we should do pretty good.
Okay, Rodney, good luck the rest of the season. Okay. Rodney Riddick.
All right, AG, thank you very much. And we're going to continue with our post-game show from Todd Stadium. But first, let's take this brief timeout and a message from the Van House.
Vehicle. Just for you. Then create it at the Van House. Let our design specialists put your ideas in motion with a van, pickup, or handicapped conversion exactly as you want it. Personalized service, handmade quality, and value that you've dreamed about. The Van House, a universe of possibilities with down-to-earth.
Trying to get him.
thing I like the most about it is that it's so plush inside. It looks very expensive. It's very convenient for me. Everything is just where I want it.
That van is my freedom. I can go do anything I want to do.
I'm Skip Wilkins. Mobility allows me to compete with life. Look to the Van House for customized mobility products that fit.
All right, Coach Mike Smith, first of all, congratulations. Got a little nervous there. I did, and when you got behind 9-6 there, what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, nothing other than the fact, we had to execute better. We didn't execute real well. We didn't throw the ball well, and we got to work on it.
Aaron Matthews, I thought first game looked pretty good. A lot of leadership coming on there strong in the second half.
I thought he didn't play up to his capabilities throwing the ball. He didn't throw the ball a lot better than he threw it tonight, and that's one thing we've got to work on.
All right, Mike, I know it's good to get a win behind your belt. What are your thoughts for the rest of the season?
Well, it's better to start off 1-0 than 0-1 like we did last year, and we got a lot of work to do.
Wayne Murphy had an exceptional game.
Murphy had a good game.
What about that Murphy-Ruski play?
Well, it worked pretty good.
All right, Mike, congratulations and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Smith.
Thank you for those post-game words from head coach Mike Smith, victorious head coach Mike Smith, as he notches victory 186 in a long line of victories for him and the Hampton Crabbers. Run down the stats real quickly for you. By the way, we certainly don't want to slight our stat man, Jerry the Z Zoplis.
Especially he's got a cold and he may infect us. So
probably going to be all dead tomorrow. The final stats here, Hampton finished with 14 first downs. They had 254 yards on the ground, just 39 yards rushing, but they amassed 293 yards total offense. They had 4 out of 6 pass attempts completed. They fumbled the ball once. They lost it that one time. They had 4 penalties for 40 yards. They did not have any penalties in the second half. And they controlled the ball 21.53 minutes of the ball game. For Tabb, they only had 1 first down in the second half, Bob. They had 5 for the game. They had 4 going in, so the Hampton defense effectively shut down the Tabb Tigers. They had 146 yards rushing. There you see our new logo for Channel 29 here, and I'd show you my side of it, but it's much bigger. You need a wide-angle lens on the camera.
Yeah. Well, we had to go get the extra large, but
13 yards passing for the Tigers, 2 out of 6. They amassed 159 yards total offense. They fumbled the ball 3 times, lost it once. They were penalized 8 times for 75 yards, and they had the ball actually longer than the Crabbers. They had it 26 minutes and 7 seconds out of the ball game. But overall, I would say that the game was a good ball game. Tabb took the lead 9-6, and like AG said, I got a little worried about it. Last year Tabb won by 3 points.
Well, I think Mike Smith hit the nail on the head when he said that the team was just not executing like they should. And I've watched them in a preseason game, or a preseason scrimmage, basically, is what it was, against Green Run, and they looked a whole lot better. They came out. Once they got behind, it's just like you said, you woke up a sleeping giant. Boy, they just then controlled every aspect of the game, not just the line of scrimmage, but the handoffs, execution. When he did pass the ball, he hit Aaron Mundy, who was wide open. Everything that they did, they executed the way they should have executed in the beginning of the game, and this is what Mike was talking about. But it's a young team, and you can't expect them to do this. And I think I think Aaron Matthews was just a little bit nervous because the first few passes he threw were well over the heads of his receivers who were open. But I have to be real happy with the Hampton, the way they ended up with the game, because they did come on and show that they can come from behind. But they're an excellent ball team, and take nothing away from Charlie Hovis' group. That Tabb team came out here very young, very inexperienced, and a big underdog, and played well for 2.5 quarters.
Okay, so the Hampton Crabbers come away with victory number 1 on the season as they defeat the Tabb Tigers 21-9. And again, we want to remind you this game was supported by Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Eagle. Yes, you can. The Van House, complete driving systems for the handicapped. By Peninsula Screen Printing. By Billy James Company. And by Thompson Ford, a place you can count on.
And of course, let's not fail to mention DC Engraving, where the plaques are coming from, donated to the school system, and Sports Place, where we get these nice shirts that we've got on, and we're giving a shirt to the player of the game too, Tim.
Again, our thanks also to Portsmouth Channel 28 and Claude Parent, the Norfolk Channel 28, Danny Simons, Chesapeake ACC 40, Raymond Jones, Newport News Channel 36, Paul Cummings, who was most instrumental in helping us bring this live cast to you. And, of course, Hampton Channel 29 and Dr. Sam Stills. So that's going to wrap it up here from Todd Stadium. Again, the final score, the Hampton Crabbers victorious 21, the Tabb Tigers 9. For Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.